Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Wim Lou. And you're joined by co-host Alex Wong. You're listening to the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. This is about 2 hours after free agency officially began on 6 p.m. July or June 30th. Toronto Raptors, so far, we have agreed to re-sign Garrett Temple. That honestly means that we're probably likely to just, close up, set up shop for the summer, go ahead and enjoy Summer League. Alex Wong, man, how you feeling? What's good?
Yeah, what's good, man? The Raptors are, I guess, finished. They did their
Grand opening, grand closing.
grand
Dog.
closing, grand closing. They did their pre-agency, acquired Brandon Ingram.
Uh-huh.
They let their president go. I believe the new president of MLSE is Winston Churchill in the flesh. So things are looking up. Like I feel like the corporate structure is in place. Rogers is here, ready to take over, and we're very excited. Like as someone who comes from the business world and speaks this language, I'm really looking forward to deciphering more press conferences from this group. Yeah, and congrats to Garrett Temple. Sent his agency congratulations message today and didn't realize it's just because Shams reports it, it's not.
What's up, bro? What happened, man?
Yo, I'm back on my potato.
Sick.
Just because Shams reports anything doesn't mean it's official, because free agents can't actually sign until so the agency hit me back with yeah, we don't know what you're talking about. I was like, congrats. Congrats. Heard Garrett Temple is coming back. This is great news. Let's see if, maybe Hello and Welcome can get involved here. I don't know if you saw, this whole thing that we did with Bobby Webster. And then, they were like, we don't know what you're talking about. It's June 30th. Yeah. So, like, what? Did they think Garrett Temple's deal might be nullified because AW from HW sent a text? Like, do you think Adam Silver would get me in trouble for tampering?
No, this is actually so funny, man. The fact that we can't even just... No, man, come on, guys. We know what happened. Okay, Chom's already tweeted it out, man. It's confirmed that we're getting Garrett Temple back. Like,
yeah, but officially, I guess you can't say anything. But I think as we talk about the Raptors today, the sense is that there isn't going to be a lot of big news coming for the Raptors unless there's a trade that we don't know about that's on its way.
hey, listen, I've already tweeted this out, but I'll say this for the podcast audience. The rest of the league is signing players. The Toronto Raptors need to sign a president. That's where we're at right now, man. We're not in the market for players, okay?
They call in CAA like I do when my Honda Civic breaks down. Like what's going on here? Is that the same company that hauled my '04 Honda Civic off the Gardner when it started burning? Yeah.
That's legit what we need right now to save our franchise. No, I mean, I don't know about you, actually. Before we even get to whatever potential moves right now, how are you sitting with the news now that we have had a whole weekend? You've gone to New York and back. You're operating on like 3 hours of sleep right now with a bear steak sandwich in you in the process. How are you sitting emotionally with the Masai thing now that we've had a weekend at least to digest it?
Well, I think it didn't really hit me until I listened to Keith Pelly's press conference. And just, I don't know what I was expecting from Keith Pelly. Like, we don't know, we personally don't know Keith that well, but we knew it was going to be a front office business figure speaking on this.
Yeah.
But I wasn't expecting such a cold, calculated approach to this. I think you talked about it, obviously, doing a second pod there on Friday, but I just, that left me feeling the realization of what we're going to lose with Masai.
Yeah.
Like, you can agree or disagree and talk about Masai's resume, talk about the last 5 years, but what we lost was, in a way, the heart and soul of this organization. Like, Masai was always the person that was going to speak for the Raptors, whether it was on the court, whether it was off the court, and the Raptors are now just another organization run by business people, and that's okay. That can be a winning formula, but we have lost something in this process.
Yeah, for sure. I think the difference in the level of charisma between will we typically get these big information sort of news dumps from, yeah, and even I guess even the transparency. Not that Masai was always up there telling us the truth, but relatively speaking, more transparent than the average person, an executive that speaks in this sort of sporting franchise. But the difference in charisma between like the level of belief every time Masai spoke, I mean, it started to wear off towards the end. But there used to be a time where like every press conference was like a must see. Do you know what I mean? And it would always sort of leave you with a stronger feeling. I think the funniest thing is coming out of that press conference, my number one takeaway was they didn't want to say anything about why they fired Masai, which I thought was really funny because, like, why would you even hold a press conference? That's the number one thing people are going to ask you. And we try to ask like 5 or 6 different ways, the reporters in the room. They just weren't willing to offer anything. The other part, too, the second thing I realized was I was listening to Keith Pelley on the podium, and I was like, this voice kind of sounds a little familiar to me. So, Alex, I want to work through this exercise with you. I'm going to play one of the clips from the press conference from last Friday. I want you to close your eyes and just tell me who he sounds like to you. Okay, the first person that pops into your head.
Okay, my eyes are closed.
You're Asian, so.
Steve Simmons, Toronto's son. Did you make this decision, or did Edward Rogers make this decision?
This was my decision, supported by the board.
Who does that kind of sound like to you?
Okay. Wait, play it again. I know who you're talking about. Can you please play that
Steve
one?
Simmons, Toronto's son. Did you make this decision, or did Edward Rogers make this decision?
This was my decision, supported by the board.
You're talking about 47?
Yo,
Are you talking about 47?
He does. Does he not sound a little like Trump?
He does sound like 47. Yo. Okay.
This is not. I'm not even offering a political statement. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's not like I'm not even. It's just kind of funny that it kind of. I think it's even more clear. I think I actually loaded the wrong clip. If we actually go to this clip right here.
From The Athletic. Keith, you said you spoke to Masai a month ago or so. Was that when he was told the change would be happening?
I think Masai and I have been chatting for the probably last couple of months, last 2 or 3 months, about the future. And so we've had a number of conversations over that time.
I'm just telling you, man. It's a little eerie.
We're beautiful people here in this front office. We have we just order McDonald's, like we're ready, like we got food, like we got CAA. Have you guys heard of CAA? Like when my car broke down a couple years ago, CAA was there for me. Like we did an executive search. It was beautiful, and we're gonna do it again. We the brightest, the best people. You MLSC, like we got Stanley Cup 1967, Toronto FC. We beat the Seattle Sounders. Like they were sounding real mute in that finals. Like we drew 80,000 people at BMO Field. The Toronto Argonauts are they MLSC? Like they're Toronto Argonauts. Doug Flutie. I knew Doug Flutie. I played golf with Doug Flutie once.
I didn't know you had this in your bag.
I shot 73 at Angus Glen with Doug Flutie. It was incredible. Yeah.
Oh man! Honestly, first off, I didn't know you had that in you, man.
Honestly, I did not know I had that in me
Yeah.
as well.
By the way, this is a good comment. If he mentions China, it'll be spot on because there's a specific way that he says China.
Oh my God, we don't need to. We don't need to bring that era back. Man,
I
please.
need to hear that one from him.
No, I think there was it just felt like it was very defensive. It just felt like it was a really defensive press conference, and I might be nitpicking here, but even on social media, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I saw the official account put out the "Thank You Masai" graphic.
Oh,
for
That's
everything.
it. That's it.
You're telling me you're gonna give Masai the same social media space as Kevin Willis's 56th birthday?
Yeah.
How was there not a video montage? How was there not anything? Like this was a business press release followed by a thank you graphic. That's what like we would do at Yahoo Sports Canada. Like this is not like for everything that Masai did. If you are actually trying to sit on that podium as Keith Pelley and talk about how Masai built an identity, how Masai played such a huge role in the brand and the culture and everything, it doesn't resonate in the way that they proceeded with this on a Friday afternoon, no less. And I get
Right.
it. Whatever you want to say, like This was the timing they had agreed upon. Masai was going to go through the draft, but you can't tell me you couldn't make space for Masai for a day and really participate in celebrating him versus just feeling like it was another Friday news item and we're moving on and not even acknowledging what you're losing. So that was the part that really upset me.
Well, I think the funny thing too is, especially over the course of the press conference, again, like they were not willing to offer any explanations for anything, because I've listened to that thing back 3 times now. And the part that Eric Koreen actually did get out of him was the fact that this decision had been reached, that they were going to part ways with Masai, like at least 2 weeks earlier, like beginning of June, right? So it's like, it's not even a surprise. You have all the time in the world to like prepare and plan something, like to slap together a graphic that you could put together on Canva for like 5 minutes. You can make that graphic. It's just,
for some reason the graphic just like really upset me. Like it just feels to me, it just speaks to an overall maybe disconnect or an arrogance of not realizing the impact of this move.
right.
And it's okay. Like I think businesses often don't really have a good sense of maybe what the conversations are out there.
Well, everyone's
in the
always
quote-unquote
really
real
worried
world.
about PR. But again,
Sure.
like you have to understand, this is why I tweeted out that I think that like there was maybe just a general underestimating of how popular Masai is. Like there's people
Yeah.
who don't even care about the Raptors no more, but they still care about Masai. And,
Never
like,
never underestimate the heart of a president.
yeah, especially the president that showed you the most heart possible.
Yeah,
So-
maybe we need to have a better term than that. It can't be so
Well,
generalized.
I was gonna say this whole Raptors rebuild from now on is gonna be called "Make the Raptors Great Again." So
Oh my god, man. Also, oh damn, man, red is their color too. Also, Bobby Webster, you hung out with us. You took our time at this Holt Renfrew event, and you knew all this.
he didn't tell
You-
us a
you-
single goddamn
You kept
thing,
it. You
Bob.
kept it real close to your Jack Victor chest. Yeah. So
Oh.
this Bobby Webster, like we need to talk. Bobby, you couldn't let us know, like just a little, little breadcrumb or something.
Yo, one of the jokes we kept making during that interview with Bob was how, like, he had this, like, former CIA pat that he could have went down, and true to form, not only did we have the whole show with them, the whole after show where he stayed around and talked to everybody for, like, 30 minutes, and then the dinner afterwards, he didn't say a goddamn word about this, man.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
a little.
maybe
I'm a
we're
little
just
upset.
bad reporters. I don't know, man.
But yeah, fingers
Quite
crossed.
possible.
Keith Pelly did say that Bobby is interviewing for this president position. So fingers
Well,
crossed.
Keith Pelly also did say that whoever the president is will have to work with Bobby. That doesn't sound like Bobby's going to be working with himself.
Well, I think that leads us into the conversation about like free agency that is happening right now, and
Sure.
I think the question with the Raptors is, as you're having these moving parts right now, I'm sure Bobby and his team are working the phones, are proceeding as usual.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you brought this up when we were chatting just earlier in the day. Like it's interesting to think if the president is coming in and is going to oversee the basketball operations and operate closely with Bobby, would they be a little bit hamstrung right now without the new
Right.
president coming in? Like,
Well-
can there be a big move, say today, made on the roster if there's a deal on the table where you could be moving R.J. Barrett and Emmanuel quickly? Like, can Bobby make that move?
Well, that's the thing, right? Because the person that's going to come in to do the next, well, I guess replace Masai, will be someone coming in to focus on basketball operations itself, right? So you would think that that person should have some level of input on where the roster is, assess the roster, see the strengths and weaknesses, what they need to move off of, and then make some moves from this point onward, right? So it doesn't totally make sense in the interim period for there to be that much movement and that much substantial change. Now, of course, like we don't know what opportunities could possibly be out there. Maybe there is another, big opportunity to trade for RJ, a big opportunity to trade for IQ. I will have to say the Raptors obviously did canvass the market ahead of the draft to see what those opportunities are. So I can't imagine that between the draft and the start of free agency, which is only about 2 weeks, that there's some sort of huge difference in terms of like a new need emerges and another team really desperately wants to jump in with a great offer. And I'm sure if that ever did happen, I think Bobby would have the ability to sort of pull that trigger on his own. But since there is probably going to be like a 1 month, actually, I don't even know about 1 month, because like, again, if they knew they're going to fire Masai for about a month, why not use that time to just search for who the replacement's going to be?
Yeah, I think that's another great question.
Right? So
Yeah.
like ultimately, like I am really curious, like if there is a big Raptors move, and of course we've seen nonstop just edging of like how much Raptors like rumors have been out there in terms of just like, you know, they might shop RJ, they might shop IQ, they might shop the 9th pick. They're looking for a big fish, quote unquote. That was over like a month ago now when Brian Windhorst said that. You know, I think that when you juxtapose that versus like day one of free agency, and the Raptors are pretty much set as is. Like the closest thing you'll probably get is like Raptors might try to add another center to play backup center. The Raptors may take a swing at Ben Simmons, which honestly, PR wise, on the day that you fire Masai, you got a Ben Simmons rumor.
No,
it's
please,
tough, man.
You
That's
gotta-
a 1-2 combo right there, man. That's tough, man.
Ben Simmons has not been a good basketball player for how many years now? 5, 6? Like
Yeah.
when was that last time Ben Simmons was an interesting basketball player? You got to go back to like 2019, maybe 2020.
Well, he did pass up the layup against Trae Young. I think that was kind of it. That was 2021, though.
Yeah, and I'm not into the idea of, wow, this is a nice buy low candidate. Like we've seen what Ben Simmons is. He's not even on the court half of the time. He got played out of that first round series against Denver. There's really no skills that he's really bringing to the floor except like maybe, you know, running really fast in transition and throwing a few nice passes. So I don't think the Raptors need to take on a reclamation project like right now. And there's a lot of young players on the roster. I don't think Ben Simmons should be taking up the conversation or minutes here.
If it's a minimum signing, I'm confident that Ben Simmons will deliver more value than like what an average minimum signing would give you. But if I'm Ben Simmons and I'm looking to like continue my NBA career, first off, I want to play on a playoff team so that I can showcase my value in that sense. Obviously, he's coming off of the Clippers, which he didn't really do that much for. Number two, I want to have an actual path to minutes. And the one thing with the Raptors is, I mean, in terms of the Ben Simmons department, we got Ben Simmons at home, basically. Like, you know what I mean? And that's not to disrespect any of the Raptors. My point is just like, if there's a one team that doesn't have more room for a 6'9" non-shooting wing, it's the Raps. So like I don't know. I think the Raptors have definitely had interest in Simmons in the past. It's not the first time you've seen the Raps linked to Simmons. This is probably goes back even like 5 years, but at the same time, this might be just the worst time to potentially do that. Like honestly, like I see this in the chat here. Someone said Chris Boucher better than Ben Simmons. Absolutely. If I'm for the Raptors next year, I'd rather re-sign Chris Boucher than bring back Ben Simmons. I'm not even kidding.
We would literally be signing the Genghis Khan of non-shooters, of a 6'9" wing shooter. Like why are we?
What is that? Wait, what
I
do
don't
you
know.
mean by that?
I was workshopping that. I guess you can't workshop stuff live these days.
Genghis Khan. What does that mean, man? He invaded other countries and turned them into Ben Simmons too?
After my Trump impersonation, I thought I could go a little bit further. So
That's tough.
but no, we don't want Ben Simmons. We don't want to make Ben Simmons great again.
Look, man. I think we're focused on making the Raptors great again. But I mean, look. If they get him, I guess I'm slightly intrigued. But I almost would prefer to get an actual center because I think that I was never expecting that much in free agency because not just the Raptors' current picture right now. Like we're basically slightly over the tax right now. We still have to decide what we're going to do with Elijah Martin. I think that the Raptors probably want to sign him to a two-way potentially, and I think maybe. For the player, they probably want a standard contract. But those are like small things. Like you can haggle over them. But more than anything else, the Raptors are slightly, like just barely over the tax. And they don't have to clear the tax or duck the tax until, I believe, the trade deadline. So they have plenty of time to make more moves. But at least in the time being, like, there isn't that much flexibility to actually add somebody. I think that, if the Raps were maybe more competitive, you can use the mid-level. Which we've seen a lot of free agents sign for the mid-level around the league, which we'll get to after this. But like that's kind of like where it's at, and I don't think that there's actually like a center on the roster or on the market that I think would make a definitive difference to the team. Having said that, though, like if I were to guess, it sounds like they probably want to go through summer league, see which bigs pop, maybe add one of those bigs, and then use that big similar to how they used like Bruno Fernando / Orlando Robinson last year. But it is kind of funny because at the moment, barring some sort of like last second trade for RJ or IQ, I think the roster actually is largely set.
Well,
You
is
know?
there a scenario here, because we know names are coming off the board here as free agency starts. We still haven't heard anything about Chris Boucher, which, it's interesting because like we are seeing a lot of these mid-level free agents
Right.
getting picked off here. Is there a scenario from even just a money standpoint where it might make sense that Chris could come back?
I think it could. I think it makes sense. I think Chris will certainly be open, and he wants to come back. Like I think this is the place that he lives. This is the place that he's really comfortable. But you got to be realistic. The Raptors just passed over Chris to give minutes to young forward in Jonathan Mobo. They've just added another young forward in Colin Murray Boyles. Like, if you're Chris Boucher and you don't end up playing on this minimum contract here in Toronto, that might just be it for your NBA career.
No,
So
I'm
if I
just
were
saying.
Chris, I'd be looking around the league with all these teams needing bigs. Number one, I would look for a playoff team, and number two, I would probably look for more than minimum because he's better than a minimum player.
Yo, we got a playoff team at home, man. Couple bounces here and there. Raps are going to be a fourth seed next season, man.
Okay, Kendrick Perkins.
I'm looking forward to the 4-5 matchup between the Raptors and the Wizards next season in the first round.
Oh
I think
man,
we're gonna relive those Bradley Beal memories. Who
When I
knows?
come
Bradley
back-
Beal might be back. Yeah.
Yo, when I come back wearing the 4-5, hate to play playing games with you, man. That's basically it. Honestly, I think that once the Raptors
Wow, that sucks.
once the Raptors signed Garrett Temple, I was like, okay, like this is basically like the last order of business. You know what I mean? Like you don't. I was thinking that maybe because the Raptors do have extra roster spots towards the end, like maybe you're holding out hope for a trade because let's say you get like a 2-for-1 trade in terms of you give off RJ, you take back 2 players. All of a sudden you're like, okay, actually need the extra roster spots to like manage, right? But if you're already locking one of those roster spots in for Garrett Temple, that suggests to me that there's probably not much action because that should be the last item on priority. With all due respect to Priority Sports, but that should be the last priority.
By the way, congrats to Jalen Williams back on a 3-year deal with the OKC Thunder. $8 million a year to Aura Farm. Aura farming for the OKC Thunder somehow are now cool after winning the championship.
Oh, well, everyone's cool after the winning except for Boston. But the funniest thing was seeing Jalen Williams himself react, like quote retweet the news of his signing with the meme. I love that. That was actually sick. Hey, shout out to Asian Williams, man.
Also, I did not know he was actually half Vietnamese. Like he
Oh,
was.
yeah.
I always thought we were doing a bit that he
Yeah.
looked Asian, but I learned last week that he's actually Asian.
No, he fully half Asian, man.
Okay, yeah, I thought
Yeah.
we were just being a little racist there.
No.
Also,
We'll never
Shea, speaking of this, we'll get back on topic, but Shea did post after winning the championship, and I've been giving him a hard time about his Instagram bars and things like that, but I thought this was really good. I just want to read this out to you right now.
Okay, let's go.
I spent the last few days thinking, and while I reflected, I accepted that half of the opinions on our trajectory were rooted in resentment. It was in front of your face all year, but you chose to neglect it. The more milestones we reached, the more people disrespected. They tried to say we were too young, hating on how we were connected. Predicted our downfall every step of the way, and when we succeeded, they acted like it was expected. We ignored the noise. They said I was being nonchalant because I would never address it. Why would I shed light on rage bait and misdirection? I'd rather be the reason that you stand corrected. Staring at the Larry O, my only competition is the man in the reflection. Damn. Okay, yeah. No respects. Respects.
Kidding me? This should be against the law, son.
Damn. Okay, I might send another cameo request to Mandy Mayhem and tell her to rap this over the You Don't Know beat.
Yo, our whole P&L page is us just giving away free merch by the bagful. And Manny Mayhem.
I saw. Speaking of, I was walking last week downtown, in Chinatown on Spadina, and I saw someone walking towards me in a hello and welcome hat.
Yo!
And I was wearing a hello and welcome hat, and we just both made eye contact, and that was it. Yeah,
That's
it
it?
was-
You guys didn't even say hi? That's
Yeah, also ran into one of the listeners, Eric, in Williamsburg this weekend in New York. It was really
in
cool.
New York?
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. So it was really cool. He's in LA right now. I think originally from Toronto. So that was a really cool moment.
Yo,
So-
we're worldwide, bro.
yeah, we are definitely worldwide. We are neck and neck with Zach Lowe right now for the number one basketball podcast in Canada.
Oh.
You want X's and O's or you want colonoscopy talk? Yeah, you decide. Yeah. I guess it's X's and O's. You want Sopranos tour recap or tour around the league with Mo Tequil?
We can get Mo. We can get Mo.
Yeah, we're getting more money, more problems, man.
Oh.
All right, back to the Raps. What are we doing?
I don't think that's honestly like the bigger
That's it?
free agency. Well, I mean, I don't
That's
know.
it?
I don't. The bigger free agency move for us, like there was a rumor that we were interested in Nikhil Alexander-Walker. I was never really sure how the Raptors could potentially pull that off. Nikhil, by the way, congratulations to the cousin. All right, he gets a full mid-level deal, 4-year ride to go to the Atlanta Hawks.
Woo!
4-year, $62 million for the Atlanta Hawks. They've replaced Terrence Mann with the Canadian man.
They replaced a man with a man.
Right, so like that's cool. I'm happy for Nikhil.
Low key, kind of interested in the Hawks. I think the Hawks are putting together a very
really?
nice team here. Yeah.
Okay.
But we'll save that for our NBA over-unders in 3 months.
By the way, Loki, I thought Masai might potentially go to the Hawks because there was that rumor.
Yeah, so Friday a lot of stuff was swirling. I know we did an emergency pod in the morning and similar.
And one at night, man.
Yes,
one at night, too.
shouts to you. And similar to when Kawhi's free agency was happening, I feel like there was a lot of just, stuff floating around, and did have a source message me saying that he spotted Masai on a flight in the morning, and the flight was on its way to Dallas. So for like a 30-minute period, I'm like, oh my God, are the Mavs going to announce that they're hiring Masai to replace like Nico Harrison and like, run the whole front office? Like, because I was trying to think about it, and I'm like, yeah, this team has Cooper Flag.
What else is in Dallas, man?
What else is in Dallas? What
That's
am
what
I
I'm
missing?
saying. No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
No, yeah.
Why else would Masai be going to Dallas?
Maybe he was trying to, like, he's a history buff and he wanted to see the site of like the JFK assassination or something.
Okay.
Like it's
Go back to the reporting, man. So a source saw Masai at the airport going to Dallas. At a
was
piercing
on the
Dallas,
same
yeah.
plane. Was on the same plane and recognized Masai. But yeah, I do wonder. You think Masai is going to pop up with a new job like by the start of next season?
Well, I'm also thinking about it, right? Because like the two that I thought were interesting potentially for Masai would have been Atlanta. It seems like Atlanta is just going ahead and making trades and moves.
Yeah.
So I think that they might just be set with their current sort of situation. There was a vacancy. There was a report. I think, especially given the fact that I think Masai interviewed for Atlanta too. I think that probably, especially because that the background, like there's things obviously moving behind the scenes that don't get reported. I think the other part too is just like Seattle is interesting because Tim Leiweke and his group are the ones spearheading the group to bring the Supersonics back to Seattle through an expansion franchise. But what's interesting there is if you're Masai, and so next year you're getting paid 15 regardless by the Raptors, right? If you take another job elsewhere, I think the way money works in that sense is like the Raptors will, like I guess the last contract with the Raptors is void, and then you start getting paid in the new contract. But if you're going to go to Seattle, I think that Seattle probably doesn't start until 2027-8 season. So you might have to wait 2 seasons. Like, I don't know. After 2 seasons in the league, as much as Masai is going to always have credence, and Adam Silver is going to push for Masai to come back to the league and stuff like that. Do you really want to sit out 2 years, 2 whole years? You get paid for one of them, so that's fine. But then you're gonna
yes.
Oh, okay.
I'm built different than Masai.
You are built different, but
clearly built different.
You know what I mean? Like I do wonder, like if he's actually willing to sit there versus like maybe take another job in the interim. But
yeah, maybe taking a year off makes sense. Maybe taking a year off makes sense to, he'll still be involved in his Giants of Africa endeavors and a lot of this other stuff. So maybe just take a step back here and see what the opportunities are. Because, like you mentioned, like someone of Masai's stature, I think the opportunities will be there. And it's not like they're not going to be sitting there waiting for him too, or he's not going to have no suitors, I think, in a year's time.
Well, I think with things like this, like you should ideally have like something planned out. Meanwhile, you know what I mean? So I'm curious to see what that next move is. I'm also really curious to hear from Masai whenever he does speak again. Hopefully he's there at Summer League. I would love to catch up with Masai. On the Raptors front, there are some potential candidates for who will be the next president. Friend of the program, Michael Grange. Big shouts to Grange. Saw him back in the city last Friday. He brought out an article over at sportsnet.ca with potential replacements
Okay.
in terms of who might be the next president. I'm just gonna get your quick thoughts on it. Bobby Webster obviously is one of them. To be honest, like based on this list, I might just
for
go
you.
with go with Bob over Bob, aka Bob Myers. But
Rooting for you,
Bob
my dog.
Myers, give me your excitement on a level of 1 to 5. If Bob Myers were the next Raptors president,
Let's go. You know what? All jokes aside, I'll probably give this like a 7. 7. Let's out of 10. I'll give this a 7 out of 10.
okay, 7 out of 10.
Because Bob Myers does have a good track record coming from Golden State, and I think if you're looking for a basketball mind, someone who already is connected in this space, someone with the experience and respect for Bobby and the team to build a relationship with, I think Bob Myers checks all of those boxes. And Bob Myers is in his own way a culture builder as well, right? Built out a great culture in Golden State. There was a lot of stability there until, Draymond Green decided to be a bad kid. So, yeah, like Bob Myers, for all the jokes that we make about him being on ESPN, I would not be mad at Bob Myers becoming the next president of the Raptors.
By the way, if the Raptors do sign Bob Myers as the next president, I think we could rule out Rodgers being cheap, because I don't think Bob Myers will come any cheaper than Masai did.
Yeah. Well, what about a scenario where you find out that they paid Bob Myers the same as what Masai would have wanted? How would you feel about that?
I think that at that point it might have just been a power struggle.
Well, I think it is probably. There's probably a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we just paid the last 2 seasons. We just paid like at $30 million at least to Bruce Brown. So at the same, money's different. You know what I mean? I think it's more about power and control at that point.
Okay.
A next option, Alex Saratskas.
This guy a rat? No.
He's like you, Alex and Rat.
I'm gonna need a scouting report on Mr. Sarakas here.
Saratsas is a longtime NBA agent with European ties, whose clientele includes Giannis Antetokounmpo, Bam Adebayo, and Ochai Agbaji, which obviously is a Raptor. Among others, he was a candidate for the president's role with the Atlanta Hawks and will continue a mini trend where former agents transition to the executive position, which has happened many times.
This is like
around
a
the league.
Rob Pelinka pipeline type thing.
I mean, Bob Myers was the same thing.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, I don't know. Don't know much about him, so I don't know if that would fit because, well, I guess Keith Pelly did say that whoever they're looking at is going to come with just experience in the basketball space, which is a pretty broad statement that would cover the fact
I want
that,
my basketball president to have experience running basketball.
yeah. No, but I guess this would broadly cover it. Like he's an
Yeah.
agent for prominent figures and things like that.
Sure.
I'm not as excited for this one. I'll give this one a 2 out of 10.
I think the biggest angle here, because I don't know anything about Alex in particular, this one at least, but the Giannis connection would be kind of cool to me. But aside from that,
I'm so over this Giannis thing. Like,
okay.
Giannis didn't request a trade. The worst pump fake in June ever. Yeah.
Yo, man, Giannis, you could have saved Masai's life, man. You could have saved him here in Toronto. If Raptors got Giannis, Masai would get him an extension. I'm telling you that much.
Okay,
Doesn't matter what Rodgers feels.
2 out of 10 for me.
Next one, Mark Eversley, the Chicago Bulls general
yeah.
manager, broke into the NBA actually working for the Raptors. He was one of the assistants under Brian Colangelo. During the latter's tenure as president and general manager, had an assistant general manager role in Washington and later worked for Colangelo in Philadelphia. This guy, a Colangelo specialist. I've seen actually Mark many times in Toronto. He's actually from Toronto as well. He's from Brampton. Former Nike executive as well. Shouts to Nico.
Shouts to Nico. We got Maple Nico. No, shouts to Mark Eversley. I think we run into him at a lot of events in the summer as well when Canada does stuff. With all respect to Mark here, general manager of the Bulls, 2 out of 10.
Yeah, you know what? At that point, I would just why not get Bobby instead? You know what I mean? Like, what makes him more qualified than Bobby?
Yeah, well, I think
you can go resume for resume. They're the same resume.
You're right. The bar should be this person has to have a better resume than Bobby.
Right.
Yeah.
Next one is Matt Lloyd, a highly regarded general manager with the Minnesota Timberwolves, previously with the Orlando Magic and the Bulls, has a reputation as a smart, industrious, and personable, and is highly trusted. Wow, there's a lot of typos in this article. Man, I'm not blaming this on Grange. I'm blaming this on the copy staff, all right? Somebody in the copy team did not catch these typos.
Yo, Mello!
Yeah, honestly.
Shouts to Mello.
Hey, shouts to Gary Mello, bro.
Shouts to Gary Mello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top three Mello.
Utah Jazz fan though.
Yeah, that's a strange one. But yeah, big basketball fan over there. Actually, one of the few basketball fans in the Sportsnet building. Yeah, but yeah, Matt Lloyd. I guess he's general manager right now. He's number 2. Basically, he's their Bobby for Tim Connolly over there.
Okay, Matt Lloyd. Don't trust people with 2 first names. 1 out of 10.
Okay, fair enough. Dwayne Casey,
What's a polar bear doing on this list?
one of the most successful head coaches in Raptors history, and an NBA veteran with 40 years of experience who transitioned to a front office role with the
calling
Pistons.
him an NBA vet like he's Udonis Haslam. There has to be a different term for front office people. You can't call him a vet. Who's his rook? He a vet? He a vet sitting in an office?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This is not disrespect to Dwayne Casey. Okay, we all love Dwayne.
We
Wonderful
love
man.
Dwayne.
He's been great to both me and Alice professionally.
We love
He's
Dwayne.
just great. Dwayne's
Another
amazing.
another guy could text and get a response.
We
Great
could get
guy.
Dwayne on the show tomorrow if we really wanted
Well,
to.
he
right?
would tell us he would have won the 2019 championship.
Oh man.
No, we love you, Dwayne.
Someone said his rook was Nick Nurse. He got rooked.
Yo, he got bishoped. He got queen.
Oh man.
Once again, I don't really know chess. Yeah.
Clearly, man.
He took an L like the way a rook moves.
What?
No, isn't there one
That's
that
a
moves
knight,
like an?
man.
Oh, that's a knight.
Oh man.
No wonder my nephew beat me in 4 moves.
That's fair, man. You're moving your rook like a knight.
My nephew thinks he's Bobby Fischer, bro. All right, so
Dwayne Casey-
Dwayne Casey. He's currently still with the
Guys.
Pistons front office, right?
But he's like a scout slash like a sometimes
Yeah.
advisor. Like he's not even anywhere close enough to like making decisions.
This would be too weird. This
is too far, man.
This is like if the Golden State Warriors hired Mark Jackson to be their president.
Yo, that would be kind of sick, actually.
Like, what are we doing here?
He's gonna fire Steve Kerr and be like, "Mama, there goes that man."
Yeah, Steve Kerr should be fired for things he said about Yao Ming.
Come
Steve
on,
Kerr,
man.
you better not say anything when they play Portland and you get
What ab-
asked about Hanson Yang, bro. You better be careful with the wording.
No, how has no one asked Steve Kerr why he's named his son Nick?
Oh my God. Anyways,
Also, Nick on the team now.
Dwayne to me, I mean,
Come on,
it's
man.
too weird, man.
If you're Bobby, there's no way you could say that, like, hey, I've been GM of this team for like a decade, and I have to now be junior to somebody who hasn't even been GM before.
So Dwayne, 10 out of 10 human being. In terms of
Absolutely.
being president, 1 out of 10.
Yeah. And then the last one, Chad Buchanan, the general manager with the Indiana Pacers, who has used his background in scouting to identify players from the college and professional ranks that fit within the Pacers system on their way to the NBA Finals appearance this year. Obviously there probably will be more names that sort of surface, but the one here that actually intrigued me was a little bit on Chad Buchanan because the Pacers have been really well run over the years. I would say, honestly, drafting wise, they're just like good-ish. I would say the biggest thing with the Pacers is they're amazing at trades.
Okay, yeah. Stole Pascal,
Stole Pascal. The Halliburton trade was great as well.
Yeah.
If you think back to before that, the Paul George trade was also really great because they got 2 future All-Stars in
Sure.
Victor Oladipo and also Domantas Sabonis, which they then turned into, obviously, Tyrese Halliburton. The Pacers, partially the reason why they've been so good for such a consistent time is that they've been great at just making great trades.
Yeah, I like this. I think the Pacers organization, probably a lot of the people that are working there might get picked off and be hired by other teams because of their success and the track record that you mentioned. I don't know too much about Chad Buchanan, but I would give this a 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I just think that whoever it is, I hope they have some sort of relevant experience, especially like, you know what I mean? Like, with all due respect to Dwayne Casey, for example, like he just hasn't managed that high enough of a level where I'm going to make them my number 1 basketball decision maker.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of Steve Nash chatter, but that's just like online conversations, right?
Steve Nash would be kind of interesting. Again, mostly because of the name, but again, they don't actually have that experience managing a team. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, as much as I would like some cachet to go along with this, like,
Yeah.
like,
no,
what,
I get it.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I need this person to actually have relevant job experience, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
By the way, one last thing about Masai, I think the next time we'll see Masai in an official capacity back at Scotiabank Arena is when they retire Kyle Lowry's jersey. I think he'll have to come back.
Damn, bro. The fact that
think he'll have to come
the
back.
fact that he won't be there potentially for moments like that is killing me, man.
Yeah.
Because like the NBA turns over so fast that like sometimes when the former players come back, I'm like,
Yeah.
who are they even greeting? Because they're not greeting anyone on the team except maybe Chris.
Yeah.
And then they're greeting like not the coach because they weren't here for Darko. They're not greeting any of the assistant coaches because they don't know them. It's like they're greeting like Alex McKechnie or like they're greeting like the team staff personnel behind the scenes. And then before, at least you would always see them greet Masai and Bobby as well. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was, yeah, that's kind of like, it kind of reminds me of just how quick the NBA moves. But I mean, again, like it is kind of weird that if Kyle Lowry were to return the jersey, like who's on the court with them? Is it Bob?
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
probably Bobby,
I
man.
think Masai will have to be there. Otherwise, Keith Pelly will have to be like, yeah, Kyle reminds me a lot of Shakespeare. It was a Midsummer's Night, in San Francisco. When he came out and scored those first 11 points. Yeah.
Oh, wow. You think he's got that level of, is that written on the piece of paper that he read off? By the way, that was crazy too, because that was low-key very slick, because they had the PR person come in, put the piece of paper on the table, and then walk off. 5 minutes later, Keith comes in, no piece of paper in hand, gets to sit down. Doesn't look like he's reading from his script, but the script's already there on the table for him.
Ennis Esmer has joined the chat, says, did anything good happen yet in free agency? Well, we're going to get into a free agency wrap-up right now.
Yeah.
I guess
Wait, hold
wrap-up
on.
so far.
Last thing is,
Yes.
just want to give you a couple intel on like what's actually happening with the Raps, because like
Intel.
obviously, we're not making a lot of trades. Okay, so the Raptors did bring in on Friday both Colin Murray Boyles and his family, and also Elijah Martin and his family. Same thing with Chucky Hepburn as well, who was Raptors undrafted rookie. So they had the three rookies in town on Friday. The initial plan obviously was to sort of unveil those rookies and sort of have a press conference, but of course the bigger news of Masai getting let go was taking precedent. So instead, that press conference will be pushed to the beginning of Vegas. We'll see, but that's going to be like July 10th at the earliest. It depends on sort of honestly when most of the Toronto reporters are going to be in Vegas. We'll be down there for the night of the 9th. So Phil, please plan accordingly. But yeah, so we're not going to hear from them in a public setting, I guess, until that point. In terms of the players, though, they're actually in Toronto. So I think they're still in Toronto right now.
Okay.
But Darko is actually doing like a mini camp with them for Summer League, which I think is kind of wild in a way. But in any case, yeah, a lot of the players are still in town. Like I think for a lot of them, they didn't even leave really for any sort of extended period of time. So like you may have seen a recent video of AJ Lawson teaching the whole rookie class how to sing "Oh Canada."
Oh, he a vet now.
He basically a vet. I mean, I think AJ Lawson's like 23, 24. Like those other guys, there's guys like CMB is 20. You know what I mean? So like he's 4 years older, is enough of a vet. But if you see in that video, like you see like pretty much all the rookies from last year, like Ulrich Shamshay's been around, Jamal Shedd's been around, Jacoby Walter. Who else we got last year? Jameson Battle. These kind of guys, like they're all around. Jonathan Mobo. I guess he's been down in Florida, but I think he probably will be around for some of this too. And then of course they've had like Elijah Martin, Colin Murray Boyles, Chucky Hepburn. Like they're already like practicing and doing workouts and stuff. So I think that like they've already been sort of like put to work even on their first day. I did get some intel on Elijah in particular. He did indeed absolutely tear it down in a workout for the Toronto Raptors. I think that it really, really impressed, especially the coaching staff. I think that, the Raptors have had some pretty notable workouts in the past where it really led to cementing the decision to draft that player in the past. I think the two that come to mind are Norm killed his workout back in the day, and that was 2015. And then Pascal absolutely killed Jakob Poeltl, funnily enough, in a workout in 2017. So I think that there was maybe some comparisons even drawn to that specific sort of like line of thinking. But yeah, apparently Elijah absolutely tore out his workout. He cooked some of the other, I won't name who the other two players were, but it was Elijah and one other player that went in the first round on one side, on 2-on-2 versus another two players, another first rounder, another second rounder. And like, apparently they just beat them down over and over again, especially the one-on-one workout with Elijah versus the opposing guard that he was going up against. So I think that was really convincing in terms of just like, just cementing the Raptors' decision to draft him. I think that they liked him, and I'd heard even going into the draft. Of course, the second round, I wasn't really going to put that out there just because you never know sort of who's available. And then yeah, in terms of CMB, I mean, I think. I mean, look, we'll have an interview. We actually did one earlier today. I was able to talk to his brother, James Murray Boyles, who's also a professional basketball player.
JMB.
JMB on CMB. You actually saw. I mean, obviously, he was part of Colin's draft party that night with that viral moment that sort of took place. So we obviously asked him about that, but it was actually just good to hear from his brother in terms of the process and the growth that Colin's sort of gone through in his career so far. It was. Yeah, I'm just actually looking forward to people hearing that interview in particular. But yeah, I mean, they've I don't know, it's a typical thing. You bring the rookies in, you take them up to CN Tower, which I think that was an open gym moment. I actually ran into some of the Raptors because I was at Scotiabank, which is very close to the CN Tower. So I actually ran into some of the rookies at the CN Tower itself. But it's just they're in town working out, and I'm excited to see all these guys playing in summer league soon enough. But that's most of the intel for now. Raps really like these guys. Breaking news. So let's get into the actual breaking news elsewhere, man.
Yeah, so let's get into NBA free agency. I think how we'll do this is, I know there's a lot of news trickling through here. There's not really any kind of earth-shattering, groundbreaking stuff here. So I'm going to pick a couple of items that I think are most important. I want to talk about a few teams specifically, and then we can wrap up. I'm just going to kind of, whatever we don't cover, kind of scroll through Shams's timeline and pick off a couple of other things that might be interesting to talk about. I think the biggest move for me that took place so far here today, we saw Michael Porter Jr. get traded to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Cam Johnson, who's been in trade talks for a long time here now. Significant move on the Denver side here, moving off one of their main pieces. What do you make of the replacement here of Cam Johnson going to Denver? And then additionally, Denver also signed Bruce Brown on a one-year deal.
I like this a lot for Denver, right? Because I think that the biggest thing for them is that they needed to not have Jokic and two good players every game for the playoffs. Jokic is clearly still very much in his prime, right? And
he's the best player in the world.
You have the best player in the world in their prime. You need to be making moves to maximize that window. And I think that yes, you're giving up a 2032 first round pick. I don't even know what the protections are on that specifically, but who cares, man? MPJ has not been healthy enough, has not been productive enough the last basically since they won the title. I mean, we saw him over the playoffs. It's great that he played through the injury. He toughed it out, but it was tough watching him play as well. You know what I mean? So Cam Johnson is basically what you would hope a healthy Michael Porter Jr. gives you. Probably a little bit better on defense, although I wouldn't say either of them are stoppers in that sense, but that's a pretty good player. 29 years old. He steps right into the rotation. Seems like a really smart and just a really smart player in general. I've actually listened to some of Young Man and the Three, and I've really liked his approach and sort of thought process towards the game. So that's a really good move. And then getting Bruce Brown back is just straight vibes, man. Bruce Brown should have never left. He left to get the bag. That took him to Indiana, took him to Toronto, took him to New Orleans. And he suffered long enough. Now he's back with the championship team. This will be like if we brought back Serge after all those years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I like these moves for Denver. I think looking back at that second round series against the OKC Thunder, they were that close to knocking off the eventual champions. And when you have Jokic that can play at that level, that can elevate teams, he's already won a championship. I think these are great moves for them. You are still betting on some internal improvement from guys like a Julian Strother, who we saw had one breakout game in the playoffs.
He was okay.
Denver, I think, is going to be right back there in the conversation. I think they're quote unquote, to quote Matt Devlin, they're right there, and I think they'll be one of the challengers for OKC next season. Another team that's really emerging here. I'm really curious to hear your thoughts on this. Is the Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets, we know, traded for Kevin Durant.
Yep.
We know they re-signed Fred VanVleet on a 2-year deal, $50 million.
Right.
They re-signed Steven Adams. They re-signed Jabari Smith. And then today they went out and added the all-average Hall of Famer, Dorian Finney-Smith, on a 4-year deal, and brought back Pancake Mamba, Clint Capella, on a 3-year deal. And we already know they've got Amen Thompson, they've got Tari Eason. Like, man, and they just added KD.
Yeah.
Are they the second best team in the West to you at this very moment?
I mean, they've certainly made a lot of really great moves, right? They also extended Ime Udoka. I think that, again, the threat of the Knicks potentially hiring away head coaches was able to create at least 5 extensions.
Once again,
around the league.
James Dolan, the most pro-labor owner that we know.
Apparently, man. He's really getting every coach in the league paid except for his own. But yeah, I mean, like the KD move's the biggest thing. But obviously, as part of that KD move, you lose your 3-and-D stopper in Dylan Brooks. Well, then you get Dorian Finney-Smith. Now, I think Dylan Brooks is much better than Dorian Finney-Smith, but I think functionally, you've replaced enough of what Dylan Brooks would have brought you. You don't even need that surplus bit of offense that Dylan Brooks brings you because you already brought in Kevin Durant, who covers pretty much all of that. You have a defensive stopper. You obviously re-signed Steven Adams, Clint Capella. I don't even know how much you'll play, considering the fact that you have, Alperen Şengün as well. Maybe you play 2 big lineups. We saw that a decent amount with Steven Adams and Şengün playing together. But I think Capella kind of extends the biggest thing that the Houston Rockets do, which is win advantages. You know, they were crushing on the offensive glass. I think Capella's another guy who can really do that for you. And then, you know, the re-signing of certain players, like I think the Fred re-signing actually works out really well because Fred gets 25 for this year, and then I think he gets to renegotiate again next summer where there's more cap room. I think people are sort of targeting that sort of summer. It gives the Rockets like a good bridge because, like, to be honest, like I'm not totally sure they're sold on Fred as a long-term fit, but as of right now, it kind of works nicely for both sides. So they get him obviously to take it down from $40 million, which at that time was just eating into their cap room, to now 25, which is much more reasonable. That allowed them to make these other trades and acquisitions. And then the Jabari Smith Jr. contract, a little bit rich in my eyes, as much as he had a couple of moments in the playoffs. And to be honest, it looked like he just never missed any threes, especially in the corners in that Warriors series. But to me, there might still be some upside there. Right now, it looks like he's maybe in the fringe level of like decent 4th starter kind of level. And then you're paying pretty much full value for a guy who, you know, like this is probably to me like relatively the same type of value as like IQ, maybe a little bit more valuable than IQ. By the way, the IQ contract, even at the time, it looked a little expensive, especially now when you look at it, you're like, is there a lot of value on that? You know,
there's a little market correction here. You know, I think guys on the types of like IQ deals are like getting lesser money, more in the $25 million per year range here. But yeah, no, I love this Houston team. I think one of the key things too is they still have a lot of draft picks that they can move, and they have. I like a lot of these contracts. Like I think another big thing here in this like second apron era is like it's really hard to make trades these days, and you need like flexible contracts here to make things work. And they have a lot of good contracts.
Yeah, for sure.
That they can move. So, yeah, no. Tillman Fertitta FC is looking up right now.
Honestly, the rebuild since James Harden wore a fat suit is pretty good.
Well, this was a very quick rebuild. Like I know they went through some couple of losing seasons here,
right?
And I'll always remember. Steven Silas, the head coach there before, who had to eat like a 50 and 150.
Oh, did they have like I swear they had like a 24-game losing streak that I think the Raptors snapped. By the way,
we remember the Raptors game when we full court pressed them and they had no idea what to do.
Yeah,
like they didn't know what to do. So it's been a quick turnaround. And I think it's going to be a nice little redemption tour for Kevin Durant next year. He's been on a lot of bad teams, and I think he's gonna get painted in a much better light here because I really do believe he will elevate that team on the offensive end. And I think all the pieces look really good right now. So, yeah, for the I think for the 5th straight team that KD has joined, we're gonna say it's gonna be Scary Hours. You know, So they are the new Scary Hours team. Yeah, the Houston Rockets are Scary Hours, but I'm comfortable putting them in that group right below OKC with Denver right now. I don't know who else belongs in that group.
Maybe healthy Dallas, like when Kyrie comes back.
You believe in this little Lego project that Nico Harrison is doing? Just assembling random pieces?
Minnesota? I guess Minnesota loses Nikhil.
Yeah, so Minnesota's next on the list to talk about here. Nikhil Alexander-Walker is off to Atlanta, but they did have 2 huge re-signings bringing back Naz Reid on a 5-year, $125 million deal. And the big who Julius Randle on a 3-year, $100 million deal. We know that they were hoping to get KD, but weren't successful in doing that. How do you like the Minnesota Timberwolves in this kind of semi-run it back scenario? Obviously losing Nikhil.
I think that it's weird because I think that they've probably badly wanted one of their young guys to pop, and none of them have been able to crack into the rotation. Whether that's like Leonard Miller, who they took, whether that's Rob Dillingham, who they traded to get last year but didn't really get into the rotation. You know, they tried with some Luka Garza. He like has moved on. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just not.
Breaking news: Luka moving on.
Well, another Luka changed teams. I guess this one didn't break the league.
I'm
but,
surprised Chris Haynes didn't tweet it like that. By the way, Chris Haynes was reporting that the Sacramento Kings were holding Zoom meetings. I guess the Zoom was successful. I believe they signed Dennis Schroeder. So.
Well, they were zooming Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook. That's come on, man.
Westbrook just hogged the mic the whole time. They just zoomed them together.
Westbrook's like, I'm putting myself on speaker view. Oh man.
Yeah, but Timberwolves. Yeah, maybe one of these guys will pop off, like a Rob Dillingham or something.
I guess it's basically has to be Rob Dillingham because again, like they've taken these young guys and I mean, who was that guy who was like he was like is it Shannon? Shannon Jr.?
Oh yeah, Terrence Shannon.
Yeah, Terrence Shannon was kind of like
Shannon. Yeah.
He was moving like Shannon Sharp, bro. That guy was huge.
I hope he wasn't moving like Shannon Sharp.
You know what? I should probably clarify the statement.
Please, excuse me.
Of what that means.
Excuse me, sir. But yeah, there's
Terrence Shannon was playing some bully ball. I'll say that.
Oh my God, there's a couple young players that I think could pop there for the Wolves, but the question still remains, like, you know, what is Anthony Edwards? I think as a number one option in terms of is there still a ceiling? Is there still a more to go there for him? And Naz Reid
move. They got to move Rudy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy. Like, I think they got Naz Reid at a really good price.
Yeah.
And Julius Randle earned all of that with his playoff performance. I know it's a little bit disappointing there in the OKC series, but who didn't look bad against OKC at times?
Sure.
In the playoffs, you got to give them credit too. So, yeah, I'm willing to put Minnesota there. I mean, back-to-back conference finals appearances, we have to give them some credit for that. But I never look at Minnesota as like, wow, a legitimate title contender. Just like a really good team.
Wow, I didn't realize Rudy Gobert has 3 more years left on his contract at $36 million a year.
Yeah, but it's kind of funny though. Like 36 mil doesn't even sound that crazy now.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess that's like just marginally more than what IQ makes.
Yeah, it's like, would you rather have Gobert for 36 over these 3 years or Cat at like 60 mil?
Can I take neither? God damn, man.
But you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, it's not that bad to, I don't know. Like, can you upgrade? What can you get for Rudy Gobert is my question, right? Like, who's in the market to be like, we're willing to pay a premium for Rudy Gobert?
I think they need another like playmaker in the backcourt.
Sure.
That isn't just they need a long-term point guard, which maybe that's Rob Dillingham. I see the comment in the chat. I refuse to put that. Maybe I'll put this one on there. Rob Dillingham is 165 pounds. So he's like a very slender, shorter player. I mean, I think he's got a lot of offensive pop, but he has yet to prove that beyond Kentucky. So I do wonder if that, and if it's not him, then they needed a long-term point guard because, like, you know, Mike Conley's in that, like, you know.
Yeah, Mike Conley's ready to slide into a Kyle Lowry-ish role of coming off the bench here, not being there, but not a significant contributor.
I mean, we don't talk about Mike Conley enough, but like that guy is.
We don't.
No, he's one of like the top. He got to be one of the 5 oldest players in the league. That's what I mean. Like.
Yeah. Mike Conley is in the nearly great Hall of Fame. Yeah. He definitely belongs there.
He's actually Well, there was a long time where he wasn't ever an all-star, and now he finally got that once.
Yeah. The nerds rejoiced.
Conley, if assuming PJ Tucker retires, because I don't think PJ Tucker get another contract. Mike Conley will be the 4th oldest active NBA player.
Wow, who are the 3 older than him?
Wait, hold on. I wonder if you can get the top 10 oldest active NBA players.
So LeBron James.
Yep, oldest. By a while.
Ooh, I already need a hint. Are these obvious?
Well, some might ask, would you rather be Tobias Harris?
Oh, CP. Yeah, CP. Yeah.
Goodness.
How old is CP?
Say the 3, man.
How old is CP3?
Say the 3. I think he's
CP3.
39.
Don't forget the 3, baby.
He's 40.
Okay.
Chris
okay.
Paul's 40. Yeah.
I believe rumors are swirling he might be returning to the Clippers,
That would be
which
okay.
we'll talk about.
That's kind of interesting. Another one, third on this list. We actually saw this person recently.
What do you mean we saw this person recently?
We saw this person recently. Well, especially
Kyle
I definitely-
Lowry.
Yes, of course. Yeah, big shots to Kyle.
Is Garrett Temple on this list?
Garrett Temple should be on this list, but he's actually not listed on this list, which I'm like really actually no. Sorry, Garrett Temple's not even. He's 22nd in terms of oldest in the NBA.
Whoa, how old is Garrett?
I think he's only 37.
Okay, it's also insane to me that I'm 4 years older than Garrett. We'd be up here calling these people old. And meanwhile, I'm Garrett's vet. If we did a pod with Garrett, I'm giving Garrett life advice. Yeah. I'm like, yo, Garrett, like you want to know what it's like to be 40?
Oh my god.
You know who would be?
Yo.
You know who would be my dream pod partner? Would be CP. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Me and CP could get into some like ball talk, life talk. We would just call it "Ball is Life" or
This guy
"Ball
want to make
and
CP
Life."
content, man. That's insane, man.
So yeah, who else? Who
Okay.
else is on this list? Yeah.
Well, fourth on this list is the sneakerhead,
Okay, yeah, PJ Tucker.
PJ Tucker. Mike Conley, we just mentioned, he's fifth. We'll do last year's list considering PJ was in the
Sure.
league last year.
Yeah.
Number 6, we just talked about this player. He just switched teams this summer.
He just switched teams this summer to Houston.
Yeah.
Huh? What? Wait. Oh, KD.
Yeah, KD. KD's the
yeah.
6th oldest active player in the
I
league.
keep
man.
forgetting that KD is pretty old.
Yeah. The next player also is teammates with KD. He's actually been teammates with KD for at 3 different teams.
Jeff
now.
Green.
No, 4 different teams if you count the Seattle Supersonics.
Yeah, Jeff Green.
That's crazy, man. Because they were, I mean, Brooklyn, obviously OKC, and then Houston again.
Yeah, scary hours. Yeah.
After this, I think there might be news for this player because I think he just changed teams. But this player was
This is the worst hit on free agency day.
This
he
player-
just changed teams.
okay. Raptor fans low-key hate this player, and nobody else in the league knows why.
What?
Yeah,
What does the hatred come from?
he injured one of our players really badly.
Oh, Al Horford?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fuck Al Horford.
Whoa.
Number 9, you have his jersey.
Nick Batum.
Tomb.
Back on the Clippers. Yeah. We back, baby.
Yeah, we back.
If they get a
baby.
new patch next year, buying another Batum. Yeah.
Oh, yo, you'd be the first person in the world to own 2 Tomb jerseys.
I want Bumble. I want Honey. Yeah.
Oh, okay. What? We figured out that the Clippers are big into BE products.
Yo, they're buzzing, man. The Intuit Dome is buzzing.
What is their strategy, man? What are they gonna advertise next?
they-
Combs?
They are the B team in LA, so I
wow.
think it does make sense. So
Last guy. This guy has the most circular face possible, man.
the most circular face would be Eric Gordon.
That's right. Number 10
Yeah,
in the NBA.
it's really sad that hint actually works.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
there's some old people in the league,
Man,
but yeah, I'm
there's some,
surprised.
yeah.
I'm surprised. Garrett Temple's only the 22nd oldest NBA player.
There's some old heads on that list, man.
Yeah, don't forget, man. Taj Gibson's in the league still. Brooke Lopez, Kevin
Yeah.
Love, Russell Westbrook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
Stephen
Russ is
DeMar in that class, 2009, with James Harden.
Russ is getting up there too. What up, Jerome?
No, I just want to. Sorry, I just want to shout out Will on that really good clue about Eric Gordon.
Oh,
No,
Because,
it was
like
incredible.
it was crazy. I was
he's the
just like
circumference, man.
I was going through all just working background, and I hear circular face, and I was just like, oh, Eric Gordon.
You're like ding, ding, ding.
It's
not
perfect.
Not even trying to like think about it. You just said it, and it was just like, oh, Eric Gordon.
The life of pi over here.
Ooh, I like that.
By the way, you see Eric Gordon decline his option to test free agency. I'm like, you testing free agency?
You trying to
big dog?
circle around the league?
Okay, big dog.
This man got 1 foot in the water, man. He was
goodness.
testing the real shallow waters, man.
Holy man.
Anyway, sorry for derailing. Just
No,
great
no.
clue. Yeah.
This
Is
great.
he
This is great.
did he go back to Philly?
No, because I think I saw the alert.
He's on the move?
I think
G?
Eric Gordon's on the move.
Big
man.
G's on the move?
Yeah, hold on.
Mr. G? Detective Gordon?
The Sixers were informed on Sunday that Eric Gordon declined his $3.4 million player option for this season. However, there's a reported possibility that he can return to Philadelphia on a new deal.
Okay. I'm sure he'll be back on a minimum. Yeah.
I mean, you turning down the minimum to come back on the minimum is insane, man.
What else? Yeah, the Clippers. The Clippers brought back Nick Batum. James Harden's on a new 2-year, $81 million deal. I guess the Clippers are kind of just running it back. I think Chris Paul's been talked about. I'm not sure if they've made any other moves so far here. I don't.
I mean, the Clippers are just like what they are. Like they're nowhere closer to the title. So
the Clippers are just banking on. Banking on Kawhi, but they got Kawhi last season and didn't work out there in the first round against Denver. So I'm putting the Clippers back into that. I guess that mid-tier in the Western Conference.
They're where the Clippers belong, man. Good enough to make the second round, but never good enough to get past that.
Yeah. Any other teams jump out to you so far? Just beyond today. I know there's been a lot of moves. Well, Atlanta's another team that I think is interesting to me.
Atlanta's interesting.
I think they got Kristaps Porzingis. They have Nikhil here. Mm-hmm. They added Luke Kennard.
Right.
They got the Nard dog here. But I think Atlanta has a nice team. I think they're going to be last season coming into the year, it was all like, oh, Memphis is getting the band back together. Look out for Memphis, and then look what happened.
Right.
I think Atlanta is going to be the buzzy team coming into the season.
Well, we know that some teams are going to have to jump because people see this opportunity in the Eastern Conference, and obviously Boston's going to slide. Indiana may potentially slide. Milwaukee might slide. Who is that team that's going to jump up from the play-in into the playoffs? Because, I feel like Atlanta might low-key be decent. I guess every year people kind of do this where they talk themselves into the Hawks, and then the Hawks go 41-41.
Yeah.
But, you get Jalen Johnson healthy again. Zachary Brisachet. I don't know. Let me take that back.
I think Trae Young.
You had some more shooters.
I think Trae Young has gone from overrated to being properly rated now. I think you put together a team around him like this with the talent around him. Trae Young is perfectly fine to me.
He's perfectly rated.
Yeah, he's perfect. We know what his flaws are. He's not a great defensive player, all of this stuff, but I think he's fine. Especially in this Eastern Conference.
You see the Shams report? Hawks star Trae Young reached out to Luke Kennard and Nickeil Alexander-Walker this evening to help recruit them to the franchise.
There we go. We go. Taking on the leadership role.
Have we ever had a Raptor recruit other players?
Good question. Did Kyle and DeMar ever recruit anybody? Were they responsible for DeMar Carroll? Yeah.
I don't think we've ever. I've never seen a report.
Breaking.
Uh-oh.
Taurean Prince is returning to the Milwaukee Bucks for 2 years, $7.1 million.
Yo, man, he's doubling his salary every time from a minimum to maybe.
Front of the program.
He's gone from 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 6.
Yo, man,
man.
Put me anywhere on God's green earth, man. Taurean Prince will triple his worth. Enes Esmer had a great point. Is that we have to have different fonts in the word breaking depending on who the player is.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Kevin Durant being traded to Houston cannot have the same size font as Taurean Prince.
Maybe we just need not breaking, but a different word.
News.
News would be perfectly fine.
Yeah, just heard this. Yeah.
News, because the thing is, obviously you got Shams on text alert. I got him a text alert, and sometimes I want breaking. The Lakers are trading for Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks. I want that breaking. Right, I need that to wake up my whole phone. If my phone's on silent, it needs to explode, so that I need to know immediately. But I can't have the same level of alert for Eric Gordon has declined his $3.4 million player option. As Luka is getting traded to the Lakers.
Okay, so I'm just gonna pick off 5 random transactions that have happened here today.
Okay,
and I want you to come up with a term that you would use instead of breaking.
Okay.
To kind of rank these, okay?
Okay.
Number 1, breaking. The Utah Jazz are waiving Johnny Juzang.
That should just be a hey. You up?
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You
okay.
sang down.
You said
just hey dot is enough. man.
Yo, that's crazy. Okay.
Okay.
Mason Plumlee breaking has agreed to a 1-year, $3.6 million deal with Charlotte.
That should be guys. Mason Plumlee going back. By the way, do you see this Hornets strategy? They're not loading me, man. The Hornets are loading up on white people.
Is that what they're doing?
Yo, I'm just telling you. Look at their recent acquisitions, man. They're making their team whiter. I'm just telling you, man.
Ooh, yo, this one is good. This one is
Okay.
good. My Clippers breaking have signed Brook Lopez to a 2-year, $18 million deal.
That could be a breaking.
I like this.
He's a guy who could potentially start and also, well, not for this team. He'd be a backup, but
Yeah.
he was a longtime starter, was an NBA champion. I think this is actually totally fair.
Okay, how about breaking from Chris Haynes? Free agent guard D'Angelo Russell has agreed with the Mavericks on a 2-year, $13 million deal.
That should be a yo. The Mavs.
Hey,
Get
yo.
his D'Lo. Yeah, that should be for Ayo Dosunmu specifically.
Okay, I like that. Oh, another one. Breaking. Karis LeVert on a 2-year, $29 million deal with the Pistons.
I think that you could just tweet that out as is, like
Yeah.
breaking. Just the transaction alone is enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, Boston. No, San Antonio. Breaking has signed Luke Cornett. 4 years, $41 million.
Announcement. Or attention or something.
Yo, the Spurs are gonna be unstoppable next year. They're gonna have Cornette doing jumping jacks at the
Oh,
3-point line, and then Wemby's gonna levitate as a Shaolin monk in the post. That's gonna be unstoppable. Yo, you know what, Wemby? If you're gonna go spend time, with the Buddhist monks and all this cool stuff that you're doing, I want you to do your media day presser in Mandarin. Yeah.
Oh.
I challenge you, Wemby.
By the way, you seen Hanson Yang? Hanson Yang is the talk of the NBA right now, man.
Oh yeah. So Hansen
Yeah.
did his pressers in Portland. I know friend of the program, Sean Hyken, who does great
Yes.
coverage of the Blazers. In fact, if you are a Hansen Yang fan, definitely subscribe to the Rose Garden Report. Look up Sean Hyken, follow him. He's gonna be at Summer League, following Hansen very closely. He's Hansen Yang got some swag. He's gonna be a big hit there in Portland, and they waived DeAndre Ayton for him.
Yeah.
They bought out DeAndre Ayton.
That could be breaking. That honestly, DeAndre Ayton getting bought out could be breaking.
Yeah,
'Cause,
no,
That's
yeah.
probably one of the biggest names to hit the market, even though I think he's very overrated at this point. But,
Reports are he will land with the Lakers.
yeah, see, there you go. That's fine with me. By the way, I do like this suggestion. To whom it may concern,
Yeah.
the Charlotte
It's like
Hornets
a-
are bringing back Mason Plumlee.
Yeah,
That would
yeah.
be great.
No, I like that. That's a good one too. Just like a pleasantry type thing.
Yeah.
No, but I think at Summer League it's going to be Cooper Flex, the biggest
Oh.
star attraction, and I think Hanson Yang is number
No,
2.
Yang is number 2. I'm Dylan Harper will be fun to watch, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Hanson Yang is about to have
Dylan
so
Harper?
much media coverage, man.
I think we're going to work our schedule around trying to catch as much Hanson Yang as
Yes.
possible, including and then the Raptors. Yeah,
I'm-
but
I'm-
not if it conflicts with us possibly going to watch the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere.
Oh.
Yeah, so we're currently working on that.
Kevin
so.
McAllister, we're coming for you, I think.
Wait,
that
is that
him?
the guy in Home Alone?
Wait, what's his
That's
name?
Kevin Richardson.
Oh, okay, Kevin
yeah,
Richardson.
it's Kevin
sorry.
Richardson.
Sorry.
Not to be
Here's a
confused.
scouting report that we got today from Elaine Kwan when we saw them. Apparently, the Backstreet Boys are not that tall.
Oh.
Yeah, they're apparently really short.
Yeah,
just short kings.
generally in the scouting report on the off chance that we might play basketball against them, we actually might stack up height wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna be doing the Luke Cornett defense on them. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say I don't think we should be defending them that hard if we ever get in the position to play against them. You know what I mean?
Why?
This should be we let them go kind of thing.
You've always taken these things very seriously.
Yeah, I was going to say, of all the people to say this or suggest this between us,
Think of the liability involved. By the way,
What if
this
we
is
get
what we're going to say to you.
what if we get hurt and they have to pay us off? Yeah.
we ain't that liable, bro. You could hurt us. It won't cost you that much
I
money.
will fake an injury for money. Yeah.
No,
You mean from them? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
If they hurt us.
oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do like a Lou Dort. Like they're gonna set a screen. I'm gonna go flying.
Footage.
Yeah, let's
just
talk
'cause we're just
about-
so not going to get invited.
Let's talk about this offline.
Yeah, because that's our goal for the
As,
summer. Is to hoop
as,
with
as
with
Keith
Backstreet.
Kelly would say.
By the way, speaking of short players with the nicknames, I didn't know this, but Eric Gordon has several nicknames on NBA, like on Basketball Reference.
Oh, please let me hear these.
Some of them people already know in terms of like EG, Splash Gordon, 3G maybe.
3G
Eric
is
Gordon.
nice. 3G is nice
The Hobbit is listed on here.
because he's a short king. Yeah.
He's not even that short. He's like 6'4".
He's smoking that pipe.
He's smoking that old Tobe pack.
He's smoking that old Tobe Harris pack. Yo, he should be Tobe Bryant, man. Where do the hobbits live again?
The Shire.
Yeah, a little Shire. Yeah.
Is it because of his stocky build?
Might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he that much stockier than
Shi-
like other NBA players?
Shire
Yeah.
Williams over here.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What else do the hobbits do over there, man?
They be drinking beer and stuff. They're like
Yeah.
farming. Like
What other
they're-
terms are there in like Lord of the Rings? So from the Shire.
So
They
there's like
smoke the old Tobe.
yeah, they be smoking a lot. Also, Frodo by the end of Lord of the Rings is actually 53 years old.
Okay.
In the
yeah.
book, when he returns back to the Shire, he's 53, which is nuts because Elijah Wood looks like a teenager.
I'm pretty sure Elijah Wood is still just 33.
Yeah, no, that's one of the funniest things too. He goes for such a long walk. He comes home, he's 53.
Yeah, I can't picture Frodo being 53.
Uh-huh.
And then Sam's just like, hey, man. Hey, my king. Can I fetch you a baguette?
Hey man, that's lambus bread to you. By the way, this Eric Gordon quote is very good from the chat. Someone said 3G, we're on 5G now. That's how old Eric Gordon is. When he came into the league, we were on 3G, bro. We're on 5G plus at this point.
They
man.
used to call Bob Cousy LTE, man. Yo, they used to call Pete Maravich dial-up.
Nah, shouts to the obscure nicknames, man. There's some really good ones.
Yeah, I think to be honest, like I know we were jumping around with the free agency, but that's really most of it. I mean, the other thing we didn't touch on was
Right.
Malik Beasley's under investigation right now
Oh.
by the U.S. District Attorney's Office on
Goodness.
allegations of gambling related to NBA games and prop bets.
Mm-hmm.
And Shams also reported that Beasley and the Pistons were talking on a new 3-year, $42 million deal, but the talks are on pause right now. You know, we had Terry Rozier get caught up in that as well, a gambling
Yep.
investigation. I want to say it's been reported that he's been cleared. So
Yeah, they were like, confirmed. Terry Rozier just sucks. He wasn't gambling.
well, yeah, the funny subplot is like, oh my god, when a player's bad now, you can't help but think like, is he point shaving?
No, but
Yeah.
the
but,
funniest
like,
thing is
yeah.
when this stuff happens, like you start to see the clips come out of like, was this suspicious? And
Yeah,
I have
yeah, yeah.
seen at least 5 plays from Malik Beasley. There's one where I think the spread was like plus 8.5. They were losing by 9.
Yeah.
And there was last possession. He ripped down the rebound, sprinted around 10 players, and
Yes.
then dunked it to
Well,
make
it's
it
just-
a 7-point game. I
It's
was
just
like,
so
what?
easy to like find these clips
All right,
now and
all
like try
right.
to make it a thing. But anyways,
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that. He's being the
Well,
investigation there.
Dude,
but,
he screwed himself out of a big payday, man, because I think he finally landed in the right situation. I thought he was actually pretty decent he was okay for Milwaukee. But then going to Detroit, he was I think he was like second or third in the NBA in terms of 3-point makes.
yeah.
He might have did Malik Beasley make more threes than Steph Curry this year? Like I
He
think
was
he was like
close. Because I think he came down to the last day of the season and he was like a league leader in that.
right. I think Anthony Edwards was like number 1.
Yeah,
in the league last year.
He kind of became kind of like the person at the heart and soul of that team. Like he was
Wow.
having fun.
I hope not. What?
No,
I sincerely hope not.
He
Man.
became like a very big character on that team.
Right.
Like, he was,
Yo, Malik Beasley was 1 3-pointer behind Anthony Edwards for most threes made last season.
yeah.
So
yeah,
he
had a
was
great
going to get
season.
paid a really good contract, and all of a sudden he's again throwing his career away, man.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, he's only under investigation right now. There's no kind of definitive thing
I don't know. Did I not see a mugshot?
that is coming out.
I guess he wasn't. No. That might be an old mugshot. Hold on. I might take that back.
That might just be AI or some internet stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. Anything else from free agency that we didn't discuss that you think is worth discussing? Well, the one big thing I guess yesterday as well is LeBron James opted in
Right.
to his $52.3 million player option, but then Rich Paul also released a statement saying that while they respect the Lakers, and what they're building. They're building for the future, but
Mm-hmm.
LeBron values a realistic chance of winning it all,
Right.
which sparked a round of discussions about whether the Lakers would look to move LeBron. And Bobby Marks and ESPN reported that there's just no trade market for LeBron because of his contract. Like, if you were to try to send him to Cleveland, the Cavs would have to aggregate so many salaries that it wouldn't make sense. So, yeah, LeBron's opting in, and now there's also whispers,
Wait,
speculation.
how many salaries though?
I don't know. Maybe 2 at least. I
Is it like
guess.
IQ and Jared Allen kind of thing?
Yeah, did you say IQ or Garland?
No, sorry, Garland or
Yeah, I guess
Garland
it would be
and-
some. I guess it would be something like that. But like, you bring it, and there's also speculation that LeBron, this will be his last season. That next
Well,
season.
we keep speculating about this, man.
Yes, but this could be his last season. So, anyways, I don't know. LeBron drama was more interesting like 6 years ago.
It is interesting because like LeBron has consistently done this where he's like put the pressure, like he's put the foot on the neck of the organization he's in. I think that the peak of this was
They-
obviously when he ran to Cleveland back the second
They
time.
just got Luca.
Yeah, but he's like, you guys want to keep adding, man. Are they gonna?
What does he want?
Well, I don't know. He probably. I mean, like that team still needs a center first and foremost, right? I
Sure.
mean, maybe they'll get Aiden, maybe not, but like
Yeah.
that they need to get a center. And it's not like, by the way, getting DeAndre Aiden some sort of slam dunk.
No.
Although it would be very easy for DeAndre Aiden to play with Luka and LeBron, but I think more importantly, you need somebody to play great defensively, and
think-
Aiden has never been that kind of guy outside of that Phoenix Suns run.
I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers should get everyone who was drafted before Luca. So
Oh.
you get Aiden, you get Marvin Bagley.
Yeah.
Is that it?
What about was Jaren Jackson drafted before him too? Or no?
Possibly.
No, I guess he was third. He was third,
Yeah,
but he got
yeah,
traded to Trae Young at 5. I think then they
Yeah.
made the flip there.
I mean, the Lakers. The Lakers don't have a championship roster, but it's not like,
Yeah.
they're gonna be a decent team. Like, you got Luca. Like, what does LeBron want?
Well, I think LeBron just like always does a good job of like putting the pressure on no matter what. You know what I
But
mean? Like,
but isn't it contradictory? Like, you could have opted out of that, taken less money, and given the team more flexibility, maybe make another move.
yeah, but LeBron, man, he's not. You know what I mean? What kind of example does that set for arguably the greatest player of all time? To be
I'm
taking
not
discounts?
against a player, taking the max money and all this stuff, like taking the most of the opportunity, but you also just can't have it both ways. Also, your son's on the roster taking up a spot.
He's like, so I got another son coming, man.
Like, I don't know. Like, I am a big LeBron guy, but
Yeah.
this is towards the end of the career now. There's nothing much that can be done here.
I think the part of the reason he's wielding the power is because he has the ability to wield the power.
Sure.
So if you have power and you don't wield it, then what use is that power? You
It's
know
just
what I mean?
like main character energy.
But I don't think it
changes.
changes. The funny thing is, it doesn't change anything. Because if I'm the Lakers, I'm like, hey, LeBron, for the first time in your career, you're no longer the most important person on your team.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. No,
Literally,
okay.
for the first time in 23 seasons, you're not the most important player. So it's cool. You might want something, but I got to ask Luka first.
Well, if I'm the Lakers, I'm looking at next season. Like, is this a transition year? Like, we get Luka on an extension. Do we look at moving LeBron? Seeing.
Yeah, by the way,
what we
have you
can
seen
get
how
for that?
skinny Luka is these days?
Yes, he's almost too skinny now. It's zagged the other way.
Yo,
He
man.
needs to go back to the hookah lounges.
No, man, he's Zag Meat Singh at this point, man. That's still one of my favorite that you brought up, man. Why'd you do
Zag meat sing.
that? Zag Meat Singh was crazy.
Yeah, that's what we call Ryan Russillo, man.
No, but like, he's yeah, I don't know. Like, I think what is the okay? If LeBron chases one more ring out the door, does that change at all what you think about LeBron?
No, and I think that moment has already passed. Like, if he's towards this end of his career now, like, this is it. Like, he banked the latter part of his career on partnering up with Anthony Davis,
Yeah,
and they ended up winning one championship,
yeah.
and that's really it. Like, I think he's just at this point in his career now. It's not like where where is this supposed to go next year? And I think LeBron wants to be in a place like LA to have his farewell tour anyways. So yeah, I don't know. Like, this is the end of LeBron's career. Like, he's gonna end with 4 championships, and he's had a great career, and he's gonna have every argument about longevity in terms of like greatest of all time. And I think and that's it.
Can I? This is just like a personal feeling question, but are you bored with LeBron yet?
Yeah. Like, that's why, like, even this topic, like, I'm not interested in this.
Right.
Like I almost feel like this is like the 7th time in his career we're going through this, but this time he like there's nothing to talk about here. Like it's not like he's in his prime and you're forcing a move from Miami to
sure.
Cleveland.
Right.
Or Cleveland has run out their assets, so LeBron's gonna go to LA and like, yeah, let's have a 5-year run here with Anthony Davis and
Right.
maybe get Kawhi. Like there's nothing here.
Right.
There's no more moves. Like he's reached the end on the chessboard. You know,
Yeah.
like
I
this
think
is it.
I think LeBron's been in the NBA longer than Frodo took to walk to Mordor and back. Like Frodo's like, bro, you still in the NBA? When I started, you were in Cleveland. When I come back, you're still in the league. Like,
Yeah, I think the focus next year is probably just to like shoot a farewell tour documentary and stuff. Like this is it.
so is this the next season? Well, if it's gonna be LeBron's last season, you're gonna hear about it, man. I mean,
yeah.
you know how like Netflix has had the starting five, and
Yeah.
LeBron was actually in season 1 of that. But like,
Yeah.
it's going to be a documentary crew. Every single game is going to be like, you know what I mean? Last game in Scotiabank Arena. Everyone, remember Kobe's farewell? Every team gave him a gift.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It'll be like that, man.
Imagine if Keith Pelly and them were like, let's retire LeBron's number. Because
Don't give them any ideas, man. Please.
remember the Miami Heat retired MJ's 23?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick, bro. They're in the same conference as the Bulls, man.
Imagine if you have to go to a Raptors game and look at a LeBron James like number 6 banner. Yeah.
The LeBronto jokes at that point will run themselves. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
No, but if it actually is going to be Bron's last season, we will be hearing all about how it's Bron's last season.
Oh yeah. No, this will be huge, and listen, he will deserve it. Like he will deserve all of it. But yeah, I think that's all I got for the basketball.
I mean, that is mostly enough for the hoop. I got a couple of questions in here because we're not done with the show, by the way, because we actually have several more things to sort of bring to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna recap my full. Went on a Sopranos tour, guided tour in New York. We're gonna give a full recap there, so definitely don't leave. And we have some other stuff too.
I like this one. Aragorn. As in Eric Gordon, but Aragorn? That's kind of sick. Add one more to the list, man. He's not a hobbit. He's the Aragorn.
How do you submit a name to Basketball Reference, or do they just decide and do it?
That's a great question. I think like we should actually, because like
you know how on Wikipedia you can like submit edits and stuff.
Right. But I don't think this is like. I actually don't think that.
I mean, there has to be some proper like rules here because
Right.
I
Things
think
would get
the
a little
No
bit too
Dunks
much.
guys know the Basketball Reference people, so maybe
okay.
we can actually get a
Wait,
pathway
who
to
are
finding
the
out.
basketball reference people? Like,
I
are they just walking
forget.
around?
I honestly forget, but I vaguely remember something about us joking about a nickname, and it seemed like they had a pathway to actually get it directly to them. Yeah.
Who?
we need to look into this.
Also, we need good nicknames from the past, man. Like Corey Maggette, for example. Excellent nickname, bro.
What was his nickname?
Bad porn.
What?
You guys, wait, hold on. You guys don't remember this?
Wait, what is like how? Like what's the origin of this?
I think Corey Maggette's nickname. Hold on. This is a real thing, man.
What?
Yeah, his nickname was Bad Porn. I'm confirming this, all right? This is here, hold on. I'll read this off. This is from an article from back in the day.
Yeah.
In the NBA, where some players have names and egos, blah, blah, blah. One of the most perplexing yet accurate nicknames belongs to Corey Bad Porn Maggette. Most NBA fans remember... Hold on. Most NBA fans remember him for being insanely jacked and playing for the incredibly deep 98-99 Duke team. Other than that, he's simply well known because it's a ridiculous nickname. Legends say that, quote, Bad Porn moniker came from the irate Golden State Warrior fans who justified it by saying, quote, sure, there's penetration and scoring, but are you really happy with what you're seeing?
Oh my god.
This was a real nickname that he had. I'm telling you, man. I'm not making this up. I'm not making this up, man.
J.R. Manitat appears in the chat with question. This guy has been lurking for 2 weeks waiting to make his comeback.
Yo, man, that's crazy.
And of course he makes his comeback. Oh my god.
Yeah, this was actually a nickname for him, man.
Incredible, man.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson breaking to the New York Knicks.
Oh, what?
Yep. It's about to be Filipino Linsanity up in
Oh, Finsanity over there?
Flipsanity. Philasanity.
It's not official, but Shams reports it as once he clears waivers, he expects to sign with them.
Yeah. He'll clear waivers because you don't waive a guy if he has any trade market, so He will be. Well, you know what? Honestly, Jordan Clarkson, that's actually not bad. The Knicks kind of like this is like a classic Knick from back in the day. I feel like the Knicks had like so many of these combo guards.
It's like a little Jamal Crawford type situation.
Yeah,
like a little gunner off the bench. You know?
Little J.R. Smith operation. You know what I mean
Yeah,
for them.
they
you know?
they
I'm
just
happy
need
for 'em.
to get a head coach. Well, I was also seeing that Knicks have some interest in Russell Westbrook, and I think they should definitely
Guys.
stay away from that. Like
Guys.
we've seen the Russell Westbrook experience; it's very exhausting. Like I love Russ, but it's like we know how this ends in the playoffs, and I think this is the last thing the Knicks need to introduce a Russell Westbrook into the equation.
I could see him being a fan favorite for a while and then being put on the back papers for screwing up a crucial possession in the playoffs.
And
So,
we've already seen how that turned out in a big market with the Lakers.
I also
in
think
LA.
they already have Josh Hart, who is like already like a good Westbrook, basically. So like you know,
Yeah.
they do similar things in terms of like a non-shooting guard that has a lot of physicality and whatnot. I actually kind of like that move. I'm actually happy for the Knicks for that one because like you know what I mean. Like, would you rather play him or like Landry Shamet?
No, I think Jordan Clarkson can be really useful on a team like that.
Yeah.
Just to juice up the second unit. Yeah, so I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Anything else? Any other comments from the chat?
Other comments that I starred during the comments. Shout out to Top Shot Tesla sending $2. Trey is a GM in college, flexing those muscles.
Oh yeah, because Trey isn't he part of a team or something? His alma mater?
Oh yeah, doesn't he run Oklahoma? Like
Yeah.
where his alma mater? That's kind
Ooh,
cool.
Blue Jays won. Let's go.
Let's go.
Woo!
The Jazers. Man,
Big 4-game series against the Yankees right now.
tell me Rodgers can run a winning team? Come on, man. Oh, someone's gonna zag and be a Rodgers stan. By the way, I could see it coming.
Yeah.
We've had this at Linus Kleza 11 in the chat, well, with a picture of Linus Kleza and his number 11.
Yeah.
It's either me or Ben Simmons. Pick one for the minimum.
Wow. I'm taking Kleza all day. Kidding me? Kleza can still give me at least 2 3-pointers per 48, man.
Linus Kleza was a baller. Like it's his highlights look really good for the fact that he was just like a somewhat okay role player or whatever in the league. But
Sexy Beast, let me know if you're listening. If you have a Linus Kleza jersey, I'm not sure if you have one in your collection. And
You
sorry,
want
I couldn't pick up underwear from Supreme for you in New York this week.
Okay,
Yeah, really
this guy
apologize.
just this Haynes Breeze
airing.
Wong's Breeze.
Yo, he asked me. He's like, yo, pick up some Supreme Hanes underwear. I'm like, you want them game worn?
Oh goodness, man. The meat off, man. Bernie meat off. Holy shit, man.
All right.
But you would take Linus Kleza. Honestly, Linus Kleza was a real
Yes.
scorer, man. Linus Kleza he had a crazy score, man.
I don't want Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, we need to come up with a name for players like Ben Simmons and Russell Westbrook where it's just like a vibe killer. It's like it just destroys
Bad
the
porn. Nah, just kidding, man. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Slap the explicit on this podcast episode, man. Jeez, man. Sorry to all the kids out there. Don't look that up. Just take me for my word. Last one here. This one for Giovanni. I think that actually really explains it. The Raptors have zero cap space to sign free agents. Those of you who thought that Raptors getting free agents don't know the tax situations the Raptors are in. Which, like, yeah, you know what? Like, that's totally fair. Like, we never had much room to sign free agents. Like,
I barely know my own tax situation, man.
Oh, accounting.
Giovanni.
Okay, all right. I think that brings us to the Italian portion. Jerome, what happened to all those pictures of the Italian people, man? Oh, hold on. Jerome says his internet crapped out. He'll be right back.
All right.
We can't even upload all your pictures from your
No,
trip.
it's cool, man. We'll do this for the audio listeners. Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, let's wait for Jerome to pop back in. For
Okay,
this,
so we're gonna kill. Let's. I start another question here.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Let's just take
what
more
is
questions. Good call.
Yo, Alex, I love the frames, brother. Where did you cop them at? These are from Moscot, Moscot. Their Yorkville location, I believe, has closed down, but they're on Queen Street West. Yeah.
Yo, how do you decide if you're gonna go thick rim or like thin rim?
Whoa.
For glasses, what are you talking glasses?
Whoa.
It's a valid question.
Oh my God, man! Is this podcast still under basketball? Holy brother! I mean, I just decided to just this is my look recently, but I am looking for a different new
Right.
pair from Oscott. Like I maybe want like a thinner look. Goodness.
Oh man, what else is in there, man? You
What
want
else is it? Where?
would you rather have
Language.
Simmons or Aiden for the backup center spot? Jesus
Oh, thank
Christ.
God. Thank
man.
God. Neither. DeAndre Ayton belongs in the vibe killer. Yeah, in the vibe killer.
The former number one picks is really tough. There were some bad number one picks for a while, man.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's see. Alex, what T-shirt is that? I'm wearing a
Breaking
Twilight
Dawn.
Breaking Dawn T-shirt. Yeah, vintage. Yeah,
Name
so-
3 Twilight characters, man.
Oh my God. I don't know. Jackie, Elliot, Bella.
Yo, these are members of the Rogers family, man.
Edward. Yeah, Team Edward. Yeah, Team Edward.
Yo, by the way, you remember, this fact got brought up recently, but do you remember how much, like, obviously working at Rogers was like working at Sportsnet was a great honor and everything like that. But one of the things that was interesting is like, so there's a big campus, like, on One Mount Pleasant. By the way, the road in front of it says Ted Rogers Way too, by the way. So they've renamed the road in front of it, but there's like a big campus, which is like the big, head office and everything. One of the things around the office was just there's so many pictures of Ted Rogers everywhere.
Yes. No, we talked about this. Remember, I was staring at his statue.
Oh, the COVID test, right, yeah.
Yeah, when we had the COVID test. What lanyard is Alex wearing right now? So, my friend Tom Henry is a comedian here in Toronto. He has a comedy special, a couple of comedy specials on Spotify that you should check out. He actually has a new podcast called The Tom Henry Show.
Oh.
And I was a guest on his episode this week. So, all the hello and welcome people, I want you to go, go subscribe, go listen to the Tom Henry Show with my episode. Go to his YouTube page, look up
Yeah.
Tom Henry Show, and just flood the comments with W's. Come on, let's go support Tom Henry's part of the hello and welcome family. So, and he's
Yeah.
one of the funniest people that I know. Yeah.
Did you guys try to like outfunny each other?
It was like two deadpan guys kind of going at it. Yeah, it was that type. We talked
it's
about
like a between two ferns situation.
Exactly. Yeah. It was.
Yeah.
We talked a lot about just like my definition of people like sports funny, people who are actually funny in the sports world, but not actually funny. Like my white music journey
Okay.
of trying to just like learn white bands and things like that. So it's a very good conversation. So Tom Henry Show, come on, you guys support us. Go support Tom as well. We love Tom.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Oh God.
Free agent for Trendon Watford has agreed
Has
to a
been
2-year
relegated to the Premier League.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Watford actually is in the championship, but 2-year, $5.3 million deal with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Oh man.
Hey, by the way,
Don't-
one of my favorite things for this period was there's been multiple times where I've seen the phrase the Gershon Yabusele sweepstakes.
Yeah, Yabusele's pretty good, man. Like you don't think he can swing
Again,
a?
this is the same thing as breaking. You can't say sweepstakes when the word that you're describing or the person you're describing is Gershon Yabusele, man.
I think Gershon Yabusele would be great on like the Spurs or something.
He's probably going to go to the Spurs, although the Spurs did sign Luke Cornett. By the way, the Spurs really could have done anything they wanted this summer. They could have gotten Giannis, or potentially, I guess, if they put the number 2 pick
wasn't
on the table.
available.
Well, if you put the number 2 pick available, it might be there. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Spurs,
Spurs,
wow, hold on.
Spurs. What's up?
No, just keep going. I got to show you a picture. One sec.
No, I just gotta keep going myself. Hey guys, how are you doing? Who's gonna leak Alex's next book topic? Yeah, I would love to write a book about the Vince Carter era, definitive book. Now that the
Wow.
30th anniversary has settled, I think it kind of clears the space to do something like that.
man. Goodness.
But what would have to happen is I think I need to obviously talk to Vince, Vince's mom as well. If I could get him to participate, I think I could get everybody else as well.
Wow.
So that's one plan. And then there's a couple other ideas.
What about the
I don't want to share.
Masai biography, man?
Still a little, yeah. I mean, if Masai wants to do it, I'm open. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, Masai, you link up with one of these other writers that's not me. Like, I'm gonna be shitting on that on this show.
Okay.
Check the resume, dog. Come on.
All
man.
right. No, you know what? Fair enough.
But yeah, no.
Because Masai got his guys from back in the day. They used to come to the raps, like
Of course.
Fast Chuck.
Hey, if listen, man.
Bruce Arthur,
Yeah,
even Cahal
I mean,
Kelly. You know what I mean? Like those are his
I
guys.
respect Bruce, but we can go bar for bar with the other. We can go resume for resume.
Man. Oh wow. Hey, speaking of resumes,
Yeah.
look, this is gonna be Sean Marks' resume. Yo,
Oh my God.
the Nets' projected depth chart is killing me right now,
Oh
man.
my God. Okay, here we go. So the starting lineup, projected starting lineup is Nick Claxton,
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. Mm-hmm. Is that Terrence Mann?
That's the man.
That's Terrence Mann. Cam Thomas and Igor Demon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yo, Yegor Demon.
Yegor Demon.
What about the backups though?
Backup to Yegor Demon are N. Traore.
Yeah, that's Nolan Traore, all right?
No, Nolan Traore. When you try Roray and you don't succeed. And B. Saraf, which I believe is the font I use to write books. Yeah. I like to write my books in B. Saraf. Yeah.
Ben Surf.
Okay. Backing up Cam Thomas is Keon Johnson.
That's Keon Johnson, that's right.
Keon Johnson and this is a nickname, a D Whitehead. Bat porn.
Yo, D Whitehead is
D
Yo,
Whitehead.
this is like a 90s rapper from back in the day. You know?
And
D
then
Whitehead would be sick, actually.
and then backing up Terrence Mann. This is not Dwight Powell.
I actually don't know which D Powell
D
is.
Powell. That's
Who's
not
D Powell? Oh, is that Drake Powell? Oh, they just drafted him. Okay.
Drake Powell. Nothing
Yeah.
was the same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
and Jay Wilson, which is my publisher for my upcoming book. You can find my next project at J. Wilson Publishing House.
Don't disrespect Grady Dick's former Kansas teammate, Jalen Wilson, man.
I think those are the tennis ball brands I use.
Goodness, man.
Backing up Michael Porter Jr. is N. Clowney.
Yeah, Noah Clowney. Actually, I wouldn't mind him on the Raps. I actually
Noah
like
Clowney,
a
who
little
I believe has a new Netflix special, a stand-up special that's coming out.
bit. He does have a comedian name, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they have Drew Timme.
Yeah, that's right.
We have Timme Duncan at home.
You
And,
got Tim Hortons coming off the bench.
and then backing up Nick Claxton is D. Wolf. Inside this Nets roster is one wolf.
This is crazy, man.
They have more wolves than Minnesota. Who is D. Wolf?
Danny Wolf.
Oh yes, the brother who was crying. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
Oh
Yo,
my God.
This is nuts, man. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean,
Excuse me. Are they do they have their own pick?
yeah, they have their own pick.
Okay, so they are tanking.
Well, the funny thing is, this team. Remember, I was asking the question of like, are they going to try to go for Giannis? But I'm like, with what? Like, what is Giannis coming to play with? And like, this is obviously the pivot plan because Giannis is off the board.
Top Shot Tesla said Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my goodness, man.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like a worse than an expansion team level roster.
Like this, honestly, if Seattle Supersonics come back in the league, their roster probably stronger than this. I'm not gonna lie. Because you know what I mean? Like, because you know how during the expansion you get to protect, like, let's say 5 players, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, what 5 players would you even protect? Like, the untouchables on this team. Like,
Can I put like $5 on Cam Thomas to be like the leading scorer in the league next year? Like,
oh, that's
This-
actually what we taled about last year. Remember, that was actually one of the more popular bets.
but I feel like this is something that might actually go down now. So I don't know.
Man, goodness, man. Anyway, yeah. So I just wanted to show you the Nets depth roster. Honestly, yeah, Raptors need to make some moves and get a backup center. But I mean, at the same time, like, Jesus Christ, man. I guess they're tanking for next year. Next year's draft is really good too. So
That's what they say every year. All right. So Sopranos tour?
Sopranos tour. All right, what do you want to bring up first?
Yeah, Sopranos tour. So I was able to take a quick 48-hour New York trip this weekend with a friend of the program, Enes Esmer. And one of the things we had marked on our calendars was to sign up for a 4-hour tour bus guided tour to New Jersey to check out some of the most famous locations that was on The Sopranos. I actually have this pamphlet that was given to me here, so I have all the featured locations here. But I guess is there anything like AMA style here? Like, what would you like to know about this experience?
Yeah, chat. Send us some questions too, man. Because yeah, we're officially. I mean, this is Alex and Ennis' Sopranos tour, but I need Gabagool talk. Did you? Okay, so what locations did you guys hit up? Because like obviously there's like some physical locations. Like, are they actually in New Jersey and stuff?
Yeah, so all the locations are in New Jersey, and I guess I had a great time on this tour, but basically you drive by a lot of locations. Like you're not stopping. So like here's the list that I have. We drove by Barone Sanitation.
Oh,
We drove by a whacking that happened under the Hackensack River Bridge.
yeah, that's from The Hobbit, no?
We drove by the dead Czechoslovakian's grave.
Oh,
We
okay.
drove by AJ's favorite pizzeria.
Oh, sick.
Pizza Land, where he worked at. We drove by the courthouse that Tony Soprano was arrested. We drove by the empty lot where Big Pussy met the FBI.
Oh,
We drove by a church where Chris had drug rehab. We drove by Richie April's private club. We went to St. Cecilia's Church, which is where Father Phil works from. But our biggest stop was the two biggest stops was at Holston's, which is where minimal spoilers, the final scene was shot.
guys, if you guys know what happened, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but Jerome
Not
hasn't
all of
so-
us know
yeah.
what happened.
So Holston's, and then we went inside Holston's, and we went to the famous booth
Oh,
where Tony, Carmella, and AJ and Meadow, who was parallel parking, shared and took. Ennis and I took some really nice photos there.
I love this, man.
and-
So
and they
hold
had-
on.
yeah.
Did you guys get this table, or did everyone get a turn sitting
So
at the infamous table?
the tour was around, I would say, like 15 to 20 people, and we were all told that we had to sit at the front by the counter, and we had 20 minutes to order the famous onion rings that Tony ordered. So
Right.
we each got an order of onion rings,
Nice.
and then the tour guide would
Wait.
just pick us off one by one to go to this booth, which is left open for people to come take photos.
This is like a functional diner.
Yes, like the diner is operating.
Oh, I see.
And it's
Okay.
and they've
Right.
agreed with the tour to leave the space up front, so we're not bothering really like regular customers. So that you see the people who can see the photo here, like the customers in the back, those are not
That's
characters.
Bill Simmons right there sitting right behind you, right? Okay.
Bill's like, I'm gonna zag and get the fries. Yeah. Bill's like, top 7 Soprano secondary characters.
he's
He's like,
Johnny April Jr. is on my Apex Mountain.
he's like, was that Ginny Sacks Apex Mountain? So yeah, so we got to go there, but it was like, oh, you have 20 minutes to eat your stinging hot onion rings, and you better get your ass back on the tour bus
Take them to go, buddy.
because we are driving to Bada Bing, aka
Oh, yeah.
Satin Dolls.
Hey, by the way, hold on. Before we move on from the restaurant, isn't there a photo of you in the actual scene as Tony Soprano?
Yes. So
This is killing
just a small time girl. So friend of the program, James Herbert, took the photos that I posted and photoshopped me
See,
in.
Jerome, I told you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. He has minions, man.
I made that call. Yeah.
Yeah, this was a
Someone definitely
photo.
helped.
No, I didn't even ask for this. Like he just sent me this, and it cracked me up.
Yo, why are you so much bigger?
No.
than both
So
AJ
I wish
and Carmelo.
I
man?
wish I could find the original one because the first one he sent me, I looked like a satin doll. Like I was like slumped in the seat. So then I was like, James, like I gotta be at least the same size. So I guess he overdid it.
Yo, you look like Hanson Yang sitting beside these
This
people.
looks like one of those like threads where it's like for every like I'll make Alex bigger.
And Ennis was
Oh,
Ennis
man.
was incredible too because obviously he's a big Sopranos fan, very well versed in just like TV and movie trivia as well. Like we're part of a trivia team, and he often carries the trivia team in terms of just the knowledge. So when the tour guide was driving us around for the 4 hours, he would be throwing out a lot of random facts like who is the band who actually came up with the song that was in the opening credits, and it was like the Alabama 3, and like where they
The Alabama 3.
Yeah.
Who's that, man?
That's
Charles Barkley?
That's what they're calling the Charlotte Hornets front court. So they
Janai Broom?
No, but Ennis
my
would just
God.
like get every single answer. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
okay,
Ennis
okay.
was like crushing the trivia, which was really fun. But yeah, we went to Holston's, had the onion rings. That was one of the big stops. And
So
then,
do they have "Don't Stop Believing" on like the
no,
music
so I actually
shuffler
did
thing?
check the jukebox, and it doesn't have that
Unbelievable.
exact song.
That's unbelievable.
there,
I
which
love the
was-
other people just being there eating like a regular meal.
No,
They're
but
like,
this tour happens every day, so it's like I guess they're like kind of used to it.
this is so funny to me, man.
So I have I have myself a closer photo of the jukebox. So some of the songs in there was Loretta Lynn, "She's Got You,"
Okay.
Freddie Fender, "Secret Love." I do not know any of these people. Don Williams, "Turn Out the Light" and "Love Me Tonight." Yeah, so these are not
Alright.
songs that I'm familiar with.
All right, that's kind of cool.
But yeah, so we make the stop there.
Right.
And then the final biggest stop was at the Bada Bing.
Oh.
And this is in the middle of North Jersey. And it was really funny. Ennis pointed this out, is that so we get there, we take a photo underneath the big sign. And, tour guide, again, is just helping us out. And a father and son just, was part of the tour. And just stood underneath the strip club sign and had
Oh.
a great photo.
No, man, come on. That's a great memory, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I told Ennis. I'm like, I wish my dad took me anywhere for memories. Yeah.
My goodness, man.
Anyway, so it was 1 p.m. And we were told if you want lap dances, you must order it immediately when you walk in. 'Cause
Wait, what?
You get to spend 20 minutes in there.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
And then we're driving your ass back to Midtown in New York. And,
That's incredible.
That's crazy.
So we walk in.
But this is an actual functioning club.
Functioning. So we walk in,
wow,
and people who
okay.
are familiar with The Sopranos, it's like you can see exactly the spot where Tony like beat up the security guy with his phone. Like a lot of these like cool memories. And then in the middle of the dance floor, which like surrounds the rectangular bar, there was 2 dancers that were working. Now you can imagine just like the vibe at 1 p.m. in a pretty empty strip club with 2 dancers. And 20,
Someone in there's just like, Jenny, the Sopranos nerds are coming again.
20 of the biggest Sopranos super fans.
Alex, you
Killing.
kind of have a habit now between this and Atlanta of just stepping in and out of strip clubs really quickly. Just empty
This guy
Magic
window
City,
Yo, you're window
Bada
shopping at the
Bing.
strip club, man. That's nasty
Yeah.
as hell.
I had
It's either wings or onion rings.
yeah. So the funniest thing is Ennis and I are sitting at the bar, and we didn't order dances, and we ordered Coronas, and we're literally, and there's like 4 TV screens. We're literally at the Bada Bing at 1 p.m. like having Coronas while watching the Savannah Bananas on TV.
Oh, accidental Bronson.
Yeah, that's what I told Ennis. Accidentally really sad Bronson. Yeah, so we ripped a couple Coronas.
Yeah.
And just went back about our day, and that was it. That was the tour. I would
sounds pretty good.
I would actually give it 5 stars. I think just for the novelty of it.
Yeah, for sure.
For the novelty of it, it was really cool to be in Holston's. It was really cool to just check out these spots, and I thought the tour was really well put together. If anyone's ever interested, it's on viator.com, VAITOR, I believe.
It's a
If you
very
look up-
popular tour group, man.
If you look up Sopranos tour, that's
So
the
if you're like,
highest.
have you heard about Airbnb?
That's the highest rated one, and it's about $120 per person.
Yeah.
So,
Top Shot Tesla says this sounds like the tour equivalent of the Fire Fest.
well, the only thing I ate on there was I think like a chocolate, some kind of chocolate thing from a gas station.
Oh goodness.
No, I had the onion rings. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you had the onion rings, man.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's fire. That's what we did. That's
Right.
what we did.
As Andy says in the chat, so we're really not making any moves, huh? Right, guys, keep up, man. We in the Bada Bing section of the
Listen,
pod, man.
Andy Juzang. Andy Zhang.
Okay.
Ain't no moves happening. I see people
guys.
being like, yo, Bobby needs to stop sleeping and wake up. Like, guys,
Sleepy Bob.
do you know
no,
how businesses work? Anyways, yeah.
it is kind of funny that like, because free agency is like similar to the draft. Like, you wake up almost like Christmas and you expect a gift under the tree. Raptors not getting no gifts, man. We're getting a gift of veteran presence with Garrett Temple returning. That's our gift.
This reminds me of a lot of my Christmases growing up. You know, you wake up and, you know, it's like not 6 p.m., like 6 a.m. And all you see is that Johnny Juzang has been waived. and you know, yeah, my dad provided a good veteran presence in the house. And yeah, that's all we got. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yo, I know your childhood wasn't that bad, bro. Come on, man.
Oh, you want to get into it?
Don't worry, we have all of August to talk about your childhood.
Oh, we're taking August off.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
All right. Finally, we were able to visit right before recording this podcast our friends, Aki, Ricky, and the rest of the team at Bear Steak Sandwiches. We know that they best sandwich in the city.
Best sandwich in the city.
We
man.
have visited them a lot
Incredible.
at their College Street location, but we want everybody to know that they are opening a new location at the Well in downtown Toronto at the food court, and they will be available on July 14th. Shout outs to Elaine Kwan for the invite. We were able to get a quick
EQPR.
preview of the steak sandwich, the fries there, the location.
Oh, run this again, man.
And Ricky was wearing a hello and welcome hat,
Yes, sir.
which was super cool. And yeah, that steak sandwich, that's a great one. That's a great one. So
I'm not even kidding.
We are
Best
super
sandwich,
appreciative.
Best sandwich
Just
in
a
the city.
perfect sandwich, man. It's a perfect
man.
sandwich. If you haven't had it, like, go hit up the College location. They're there already. And if you're near the Well, definitely go check them out. July 14th is when they're going to be
Yeah, they're
officially open there.
This was the soft opening. This is what people in the industry will call the influencer opening. So we are officially on the influence. By the way, let us influence your events first and foremost. But great sandwich, man.
Yeah,
Legit.
and-
Like the steak, the chimichurri, the bun. It's just like it's simple, but it really works, man. It's genuinely one of the best.
Yes, and definitely if you go there, let them know that Hello sent you. You know, let them know. Let them know that Hello and Welcome sent you.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, they're happy to talk ball too. That's the thing.
They're big ball fans.
They're ball fans, man.
And they're just great people, super happy for their success.
Yeah.
And if you're a restaurateur in the city and you're looking for someone to really help you get the word out there, make sure you hit up Elaine Kwan, man.
Does great job
EQPR.
getting the news out there and
Yeah.
just like bringing people out to the events. Because I saw some. I honestly, I didn't want to.
You saw some heavy hitters, man.
I saw some. Because I watch a decent amount of food content. Like
Yeah. Who
especially
was that
on
one
YouTube.
influencer that you were telling me about?
Instant noodles. Instant noodles was out
Yeah,
there, man.
that's what they
I like
called me
Instant
in high
Noodles, man.
school, but it was like a bullying thing. Have you noticed that every single Asian food influencer goes by a name that you were
Yeah.
bullied by in high school? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fair. No, but I love. His
Like
stuff
they
is all
called
good,
me
man.
Footaraj back in the
Yeah.
day, but it wasn't
man.
nice. Yeah.
No, because he's like, this simply spiked lemonade is one of the greatest flavors out there. You want a refreshing drink on a Canada Day long weekend, you're going to reach for one of these simply spiked lemonades. This is a limonade flavor. That's my favorite flavor. You know
So
what I mean?
instant noodles is one of your faves.
He actually is one of my faves because he does a great job of just like not putting too much of himself into it. He doesn't overdo it. He's not like, you know what I mean? Like some of it just feels kind of fake to me. He's just kind of real, you know? He's just like, likes and appreciates noodles. I mean, he reviewed like Yen's Dining Room, for example. Shouts to our
wow.
friends at Hongsheng.
Yeah, shouts to Yang, shouts to Isle Upstairs. Yeah, check out instant noodles. You know, we always shout out Johnson Footaraj, but for real,
Oh, yeah,
like,
for sure.
you should follow Footaraj. Great recommendations for uptown eats,
Oh,
especially.
Bro, there you go. Tala even agrees. Instant noodles is so goated. Absolutely, you know?
Tala agrees. That means I can't check it out. Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, no. shouts
Someone
to
said
Tala.
Wise Will in a parka.
Oh yeah, so in the photo, I believe you were. Well, it was a pouring rain.
It was pouring rain. This is a rain jacket.
Yeah, it was
It's kind
it
of bulky. The lighting is making me look bigger, but it's just it's just a rain jacket.
We know that whole Renfrew snatched his Loewe jacket away, so he's got to layer up, with other pieces.
Hey
in his
man,
wardrobe.
I paid $60 good at H&M for that jacket.
We know, yeah.
Oh brother.
Yeah, that's it, man. Make sure you go check out Bear Steak Sandwiches. They're great friends of the program.
For sure.
And we're
Remember,
always
remember
super-
they gave everybody they gave us so many free sandwiches for the launch party.
well,
Hello and welcome launch
when
party.
we had our
man.
hello and welcome party at the Red Bull studio. Shouts to Red Bull.
Big shouts to Red Bull,
Let's
man.
reconnect. when Jerome told everyone to be quiet because they were too loud. Because
I need Red Bull to sign another Raptor, man.
Who would you like Red Bull to sign?
Because I think Red Bull does a good job of like highlighting their athletes, but not maybe in the traditional media sense. You know what I mean? Like they do a good job of just highlighting their personalities. They just launched Mitch Marner and Pascal Siakam. Those are their two guys in Toronto.
Yeah, damn, you're right.
So hopefully they get back into sports, especially here in Toronto. Raptors wise, who would be a good fit?
I guess RJ would be an obvious one just for like the Canadian connection type.
RJ would be kind of cool. Honestly, Grady seems like fun to do content with.
I always thought Chris Boucher, if he was here, like would be a good partnership like that too. Like Chris could do some fun stuff. Like I know maybe like a lesser prominent player depending on his stature, but I think it would be really cool.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, so I love the YouTube channel. Shouts to whoever YouTube channel is, but
Yo,
Scotty
how'd you claim that
rollerblading.
Oh yeah, careful there, Scotty. God damn.
Yeah. Yo, by the way, you see that video of Scotty shooting corner threes? He was swishing those things.
Dog, man, I saw Andre Drummond make threes the last 10 years, man. What do you want?
Oh
from
my
me?
God. Come on, man.
Guys make threes in the summer all the time.
He was swishing them though.
Yes, I've seen Steven Adams was draining threes like a couple weeks ago in a gym.
I would love to see Steven Adams shoot threes in the
Steven
NBA.
Adams is a bear steak sandwich.
Yo, honestly, he would be eating that bear steak, man. You take the bread off. You just eat the.
Yo, we gotta have the bear steak sandwich like bear, award of the night or something, man.
Oh, true.
Yeah. Anyways,
Someone just said check out 915 DuPont. Yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah, sure. Why not?
I went to Bottega Volo today at their mortadella sandwich. It was really good too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was a designer brand.
Shouts to that's Bottega Veneta. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
My ex-wife gave me a wallet. Anyways, yeah, it started falling
What?
apart. It started falling apart, and it felt like a metaphor for my. Yeah. Anyways.
Goodness, man.
Yeah. So free agency goes on. We are, Happy Canada Day to everybody tomorrow.
Hey, that's right,
And
man.
If any news breaks with the Raptors, we will be here. At least one of us. And yeah, we'll react to that. As Will mentioned, he's got an interview with Colin Murray Boyle's brother.
That's right, James.
James.
James Murray Boyles.
That will hopefully be coming out this week as well. And it does look like it's pretty quiet for the Raptors. So if there's no big trades, anything like that, we'll catch up on free agency kind of like later in the week and kind of just see where it goes. And then we've got Summer League. We're heading to Vegas next week. Super excited about that.
That's right.
There's gonna be a lot going. So yeah, hello and welcome rolls on, and honestly, shouts to all the listeners like recently engaging us with the Bobby Webster content. Really appreciate the feedback on that.
Damn,
And,
guys. If you guys want to get to know the Raptors' #1 man, there's
That's
no
right.
better show to actually tap
And
into than that one.
shouts to you as well with the draft coverage, and also us working together to just like figure out the Masai news on Friday.
Yeah, that was.
Like our YouTube channel like continues to grow. That stuff is important to us as well.
Hey,
So if you
we're
haven't
almost there at
subscribed,
10K, baby. Come on,
if
man.
you
Help
haven't
us get to 10.
if you haven't subscribed yet, like help us out.
Yeah.
It's super cool, like and we're excited to keep providing the coverage the next couple weeks here.
Yo, man, hit the like, man.
Yeah,
Hit the like on the stream, man.
W's in the chat.
What else, man? Ace E just got here, guys. We just potted for 2 hours, man.
Damn, man. So
See you at the win in Vegas. Come on, man. Yo, Top Shot, you coming out there? Honestly,
you can take my spot. My ban is still in effect, so we'll see.
are you sure? Did you call them?
I'm not calling them. Why would I
Okay.
call them? Yeah, I got
Well,
people
just be
working
like,
on
hey,
this.
can I come back, please? Like, well, that's worth a call.
Yeah, it's like, hey, is Steve Wynn here? Yeah, I'm just looking to talk to him. Anyways,
There you
I
go.
believe that's it.
Hey, there you go, man. Appreciate you guys. Everyone, thanks everyone for being in the chat here. Raptors probably going to be a pretty quiet free agency. Like, I think we kind of knew that, but I was kind of hoping to pod for 2 hours and just hoping for live news to break. That did not happen. So we'll see. The roster kind of is what it is. We'll see if maybe a trade materializes, but more than anything else, we need to sign a president. And again, the weekend has passed, but I don't think I'm any less sad about Masai leaving. So we'll be on that for a bit. Obviously, we'll be talking about the rookies in this upcoming class. Obviously, life goes on, basketball moves on, but appreciate all of you guys for tapping in. This has been the Hello and Welcome podcast presented by Betway. And we'll see you again. If no live breaking news happens, we'll probably see you on Wednesday. See you.